It's the San Antonio Fire Department. And in front of that is a big ambulance from the San Antonio Fire Department. And off to the far right, we saw, and it sounds scary, but it's a massive ambulance they just pulled in. It's the Schertz Mass Casualty Evacuation Ambulance. It's just to have space. They want that big ambulance to have space just in case they need to get a bunch of people who may be injured into that ambulance, a loaded ambulance. And behind them is another Schertz ambulance. And behind that, a third Schertz ambulance. Again, all of the resources necessary here we have strung together at City West Church for the greater good of our state. And they're bringing them together right here at City West Church just in case they need them. Now, this is just a small amount. There are so many other
folks
down where all of those camps are. Mainly Camp Mystic is the one we're talking about, so that they can make sure that everyone is accounted for. They want to make sure that everybody is safe, and that's exactly what they're doing, because they are still in a search and rescue operation, as we talked about, those Black Hawk helicopters and those drones that are still out there to try to find anybody and everybody who may be still missing or unaccounted for. We know more than 230 were rescued yesterday in those operations, and sadly 24 lives and souls were lost as a result of that massive flooding that came in kind of without warning in one select spot. And sadly, so many lives were lost. So again, they don't want to stop until everyone is accounted for, but you can see the massive resources that the state has really pulled together throughout all of our area in the great state of Texas, and just said, we are here for you, at your disposal. And City West Church is where they have gathered today in Ingram. So again, we're going to be looking around this area, try to find some families for you, try to find anybody who can talk about firsthand experiences for you. But this is just kind of an idea and just a little piece of what is happening here in Ingram and this area to help so many people who have been through so much in the last 24 hours. But for now, that is the latest. Reporting live from Ingram, I'm Christina De Leon. We will send it back.
Massive search, folks. Massive
before
search
you go,
for
you
children.
mentioned that's
As you know, missing children.
Emergency
lots of them.
workers. I'm assuming there's a shift change because a lot of the folks have been working overnight. Have you seen the shift change yet? And this City West Church, this is where they can kind of re-energize, maybe get a quick nap, get some food, get some drinks. Is that correct?
Don't know about that. We just saw Schertz, that mass casualty ambulance, and then the two ambulances after them arrive. Those are brand new workers that have come in. Don't know about a shift change. Don't know what they're doing inside that church. All we saw were all of those parked units. So don't know what it is that they do inside there. We do know that those three just arrived. This is where all of them have parked to stage. So most likely what's going on is some kind of meeting. They may be leaving out from here. We haven't seen anybody leave here. We've just seen those three arrive. So this is where we're seeing a fourth ambulance arrive. This is another jurisdiction. I don't know if we can see on the side. So this is where they're coming right now. So where we saw them walk to the front of the church to go check in. So I know that they're going and reporting somewhere when they go check in. I'm not sure if we can see on the side. Fredericksburg. So another jurisdiction, Fredericksburg, is arriving here. So we know that they go and they check in somewhere. So this is them coming and checking in. So not sure if they've been somewhere or they're checking in right now, but this is a fourth, again, ambulance. So just to give you an idea of how many resources that we have from this entire area and what the state has pulled together, is just to give you an idea of the amount of people who have come together to help out in this recovery and rescue effort for this morning, for the greater good of everybody who's involved in what's been going on the last 24 hours.
We have almost 25 children missing.
Thank you so much, Christina.
Almost
Great
25 dead.
We'll check in with you in a little bit.
Hundreds of rescues.
She is stationed out.
This is really bad, folks.
Hi, Taylor. What update can you give us from where you're at?
Also, keep an
Good
eye out on
morning. So
Burnet.
yeah, I'm in Hunt. We just passed through Ingram, not too far from here. So I want to mention, coming into Hunt from Ingram, just you get to see the amount of destruction from the aftermath of the flooding that we saw. So this was completely different just yesterday, and this is the aftermath that we're seeing. So I'm in Hunt where we are about a mile from the heart of it. We're right off of State Highway 39, and this is the Guadalupe River. I want to mention right here to my right just how strong the water was here yesterday. You could see the tree that was just completely snapped in half. And you have all the debris here as well as the one in the back of me. But I also want to mention, there's a mailbox that is right here. Could be from a nearby home, and just goes to show how strong those waters were. And I want to take you over here just to get a closer look at what looks appear to be a big block of cement rock. So I'm 5'1", and I just want you to get a glimpse of just how big and massive this is. And it's completely, very heavy. This was moved by the flood waters. So I'm not sure where this came from, but just goes to show how strong these were here in Hunt and how aggressive it was coming through the area. I just want to mention as well, if you can see up there on the trees, that's how high these waters were getting, where things are just getting left on the branches up there. You can see just the complete destruction here in Hunt. When we were coming in as well, I do want to mention there was a piece of shed or a piece of metal that was stuck onto a tree branch that was pretty high up. It just goes to show again how aggressive these floodwaters were, and the aftermath here is just very devastating.
It's bad. It's bad. And Burnet
the water
got
rushing
lots of
behind
rain
you
right
even
now.
still. Can you and your photographer, can you show us how fast that water is still moving? Because this was kind of the epicenter of everything yesterday. This is arguably where things were worst.
Yeah, this is where things really got bad, and it just goes to show just the amount of destruction that is still here today. This is just a lot of debris. You see a lot of homes. I do also want to mention a lot of fences that were completely knocked down. These floodwaters were really strong here in Hunt. And you can, again, Jordan, you can hear the waters rushing through. They're still going. They're pretty strong here, as you can probably hear from my mic.
Taylor, where you're at on State Highway 39, that road is completely washed out where you're at. How did you and your photographer get there? Was it a different route than the normal? Because it just probably, as you guys were driving there, it got progressively worse.
So it's bad in Hunt too. Hunt.
I will say my photographer's pretty great at getting us where we need to go. So it wasn't too bad getting in here, but you just see the amount of destruction. We did hit some flooding areas, so we had to take it slow. There's still some areas where you possibly had the chance of getting stuck with your car. So we did make sure we took it slow. So you can see cars passing through, but again, they're going pretty slow just to be cautious, because you can see the aftermath of some of the debris still on that roadway. And then right above me, where you can see there's a crack inside the road. So again, that just goes to show just how hard hit this area was.
Taylor, I've been asking reporters
Kerrville,
to try and set the stage of where exactly you are, how far
Ingram.
neighborhoods or homes are from you or businesses. Can you give us some perspective of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're about 5 minutes or so from Ingram, and that's about a mile from the heart of Hunt. We've seen some residential areas again, but they are pretty far spread out. We're not too far from some residential areas. But I did see them get hit pretty hard. A lot of debris everywhere. There are a lot of homes here that are pretty torn up.
If you weren't with us yesterday, Taylor was in Comfort, which is downstream of this. They had a little more warning that water was coming. Taylor, how is what you're seeing in Hunt comparing to what you saw in Comfort?
Definitely different today. In Hunt, the amount of water, I described it yesterday as looking like an ocean, but we've seen the water go down significantly throughout the day. From here today, this is just, the water's flowing. It's still going fast, but today it's just really sad. You get to see the absolute destruction of these homes, and today is just a sad day just to see everything that the floodwater has caused for these areas.
All right, Taylor, thank you so much.
Continuous coverage of this devastation, catastrophic flooding in Texas.
And we wanted to show you some more new video sent in to us from Hunt. Much of the area, this is just from yesterday, much of the area destroyed. You can see the popular Hunt store damaged and the post office completely gone.
Representative Verdell talked about that a little bit. That is a staple place in Hunt, and he said that there is a chance that they'll be able to rebuild. There's still a little bit left, but obviously just devastating in there. It looks like these residents are in a golf cart driving around just looking at the damage. We saw a lot of that yesterday, especially after the heaviest of the rain moved through those trees, just completely knocked to the side with the force of the water.
And during yesterday's press conference, the last one they had in the evening, right? The Texas Guard says they've rescued 237 people. 167 of those people were rescued by helicopter. Right now, they've got over 1,000 state partners helping in this rescue effort. Over 800 assets are being used throughout the state. Boats, helicopters, high-profile vehicles. We've seen a little bit, just a portion of them, right, where Christina was in Ingram over at the City West Church. Speaking to Congressman Verdell this morning, right, he's saying, please do not head out to the area because it is very difficult.
And so we want to give you kind of a picture of how that water traveled.
Thank you,
now.
Millie.
Taylor was just in Hunt, like we told you, Christina and Ingram. So Hunt is where the water came in earlier in the morning. That was about 4:30, rushes of water. I don't have the exact statistics in front of me, but it was rising several feet in about 30 minutes. So very, very quick. And then obviously all that water has to go somewhere. So it went down into Ingram, into Kerrville, into Comfort, and then a lot of the camps, including Camp Mystic, is in Hunt, right along the Guadalupe River. So that's kind of the way that the water flowed yesterday. And a lot of this area, we're learning, is still in a flood watch today until 7 p.m. So a lot of those portions of the hill country and along the east of I-35 corridor could get more rain today.
Now, we know that by the time the flooding got to Comfort, the city was sounding flood alarms, and the fire department was on loudspeakers telling people to evacuate. Now, that was in Comfort. Unfortunately, a lot of those gauges, I guess, when they reached a certain level on the river, they stopped working.
We all morning yesterday were watching the flood gauge for the Guadalupe River at Hunt, and it stopped at just above 29 feet. And then we didn't get another reading after 4:30 a.m. The National Weather Service has said they think those gauges were completely underwater or taken out. Very, very fast moving water, potentially breaking records in that area. And this is an area we heard at the press conference, both of them yesterday. This area has floods. This is not a new thing, but the way that they put it, they had so much water so quickly that it was hard to keep up with. And it was getting difficult to let people know. We heard from people who said they heard the water rushing and that was their first sign to get out. So we were asking questions about the alert system and how can people be alerted when this water is coming? I know we just talked about in Comfort, they had alarms and systems in place.
So what we're cycling through are emergency shelters and reunification centers. This emergency shelter is in Kerrville. It's the Notre Dame Catholic Church. We're told that Shriner University, the event center, is at capacity. The First United Methodist Church in Kerrville, that is a shelter. So of course you can find all of this information on our website, news4sa.com. The Arcadia Live, that is in Kerrville. This reunification center, Ingram Elementary School, this is a big one because this is where the campers, the young girls from Camp Mystic, were taken after they were rescued from their location. They were checked out at Ingram High School, made sure, checked out by medical officials, making sure that they were okay, and then brought by school buses over to Ingram Elementary where their parents were waiting. So all of these reunification centers are a little bit different from the shelters because these are the places where folks can go to say, I am here, I am accounted for, or I am still missing my loved one. So please be aware that these are resources available to folks. Now, we've seen all sorts of wild flooding video. It's caused lots of damage to homes and property.
Yesterday, our meteorologist, Joe DiCarlo, spoke with one homeowner who says he was awoken by the flashing of his transformers popping and floodwater seeping into his home. About 4 feet of water got into his home. Here's Joe with a look at that damage.
Hey guys, we are here again in Kerrville, Waterfront Drive, right along the Guadalupe River, and we did meet a gentleman here. His name is Greg, and he offered us to show his house and what's unfortunately what's left of his house after the water this morning. As you can come inside here, you could see the complete devastation, the mud, the floodwaters, everything that's been completely moved throughout his entire home. Greg, if I could
Look at
bring
the
you in
water
real
line.
quick,
That's crazy.
what was it like this morning? Can you explain kind of what you saw and what's left?
Woke up, saw brilliant lights flashing through the windows.
Get
Thought
out.
it was fireworks. Turns
Get out.
out it's the transformers going off, blowing up outside. Rain was just pouring down. And so I thought, well, I better look outside. I looked outside, and the water's up to my foundation of my house. And I've got a 5-foot tall foundation. It was terrifying. And by the time I got stuff together, got out to my car, I was going to back it out. I couldn't get it out. Would have floated. So
what did you do?
I had just waited out to the high ground. And
you came back and
I called the people that I know in the neighborhood, said, get out now, because they're in this house and the 2 houses down. It was quite terrifying.
And everyone, or your whole family's okay.
Yes.
Were you the only one in this house at the time?
I was the only one in this house. That is correct. And the house next door, it's rented. I rented out to a pastor and his wife and kids, and they were in Memphis. So thank God they were out.
Thankfully. What's it like just seeing this happen to your house? I don't know about what's next. Right now, today is cleanup, but how does it make you feel about your neighborhood just changed kind of in a couple hours?
Just demolished, and you just have to roll with the punches and get in here, clean it up, cut the sheetrock so that it can dry out and get to work.
And thankfully, you're okay. And everyone you know is okay. So that's definitely the good news here. We could just take a few more little looks here. It is completely.
And that was Joe DiCarlo reporting. The city of Kerrville is issuing a warning to all residents that they are asking people to please minimize water usage. The surface water treatment plant is currently offline and is running its system through well sites. Now, the city says the situation isn't critical just yet, but wants to prepare folks just in case things get worse or other issues arise. Now, crews are keeping a close eye on this situation.
Crews are also working on air rescue missions. They're going to continue that today. They worked all day yesterday, almost 170 helicopter rescues in total. Governor Greg Abbott posted this rescue video to his X account. You can see a first responder save a woman who was clinging onto a tree. We're seeing this a lot because that's the only thing really to hang on to if you get swept away in these floodwaters. She is carefully whisked away to safety. And then, like we said, these efforts are going to continue as the day goes on today. The state actually saying they sent more helicopters over the course of last night to help with these situations if they find
people
survivors.
alive.
Now, the rain didn't just flood the hill country. This is video from San Angelo. Here you can see rescue crews saving someone holding on to a telephone pole.
Thank you, Rick Miller, Jeanette Hines, Ellie, thank you.
Now, we've seen all sorts of wild flooding video. It caused lots of damage to homes and property.
We actually have some new word from the city of Kerrville Police Department. They have just posted that rescue teams worked throughout the night and they will continue until we find all of our citizens. Hundreds of first responders are here with resources from throughout the state to help us. Our Christina De Leon was giving you a glimpse of those earlier. The police department says our thoughts remain with those who are unaccounted for and their loved
12
ones.
miles down the river.
Are focused and will remain so.
Okay, we're going to regroup a little bit and we will be right back. Stay with us.
This is a very, very sad situation, folks, in Texas. Kerrville area, as you saw, Hunt, Ingram, Comfort. I just looked this morning. A massive amount of rain last night fell in Burnet, Texas, more towards the east. They said they got more rain in Burnet, Texas in the last few hours than a fourth of the year. Rain total, that's pretty much what we got here in Kerrville. So much rain, they say that in a 45-minute span, the Guadalupe River rose 25 feet. That's what the reports are, 25 feet in just 45 minutes. Is that insane or what? There's reports at the time, for instance, Camp Mystic, where a lot of these girls are still missing. they're saying that they really had no warning whatsoever. It was just a wall of water that came through around 2 something in the morning. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, I do think that there has been a little back and forth blaming between the state and local municipalities, for instance, Kerrville, because a lot of people were saying, well, Texas was aware that this storm would, have some rain. They activated the National Guard the day prior, activated for their resources. However, these local municipalities didn't warn residents about staying on that river, the potential of flooding on that river. But no one would expect this much flooding to happen. It's just a whole entire disaster. They appears like they're setting up equipment here. This is Ingram, I believe. And, they're bringing in all types of resources here to find these missing girls from Camp Mystic. They're saying 20 to 25 girls are still missing, children missing, swept away during that middle night. Now, we were one of the first people to start this yesterday morning. It progressed the search throughout the day. There have been massive searches. The one you saw with the little girl on this tree, there was reports that she got floated. She went down 12 miles down from Camp Mystic and was hanging onto a tree. We saw a body yesterday morning being pulled from the river. It's just a terrible, terrible disaster. The power of Mother Nature. So they're mounting up. They're ready to do more searches in this Guadalupe River area, Kerr County. It's sad. 25 fatalities they're reporting now. Some numbers are 24, 25. That's a lot, considering that there's half of that still missing. Half, so 25 and 25. And there's a potential, and I hate to say this, gruesome death toll could be 50 when all's said and done. It's just sad. 50 people dead. They've rescued 237 people throughout yesterday into the day. They're also saying the emergency alert system failed when it came to the rising water of the Guadalupe River. So this is, we are in Texas here, and this might be the staging area where they are planning to do more searches. Now, we're going to pay attention here. We're going to see what's up and follow through and keep this story going. Every life matters. I can't imagine what parents of these missing children are thinking right now. It's horrible. And we're talking about, now this area had a massive flood in 1987. They said that this surpassed the flood of 1987. No one expected it like this, though. So even though some of the things might have failed, emergency warning system, local government, this just never happens. But it happens. And that's the risk of living or staying on these waters. What I find is the most terrifying in this whole situation, it was like a monster that came raging through while these little girls are probably in their sleeping bags, sweet dreams, camping, memories that last a lifetime out there, camping at 4th of July. I'm sure they were all going to get up the next day and have some barbecue and shoot off some fireworks and enjoy the fireworks festivities, just like all of us did Independence Day, and it just turned into a complete nightmare. Camps, a lot of camps there, a lot of children go there, hang out, and girls and girls, some guys and guys, with the camps, teaches people that wildlife and that type of activity. It's like Girl Scout type things. I've done that when I was a little boy, going to these camps along the river, set up tent, learn all, you do some put tubes in the water. When it's just a horrible situation. Christine Stapleton, thank you for the gifted membership. It's a very somber day, but I do appreciate that. Thank you very much as we keep this story going in Texas. Kerrville, Texas. It looks like it has expanded out. Hunt, which is actually to the west of Kerrville. Seems like they got rocked. Seems like that was like the epicenter, and all that water that fell in Hunt raged down and eventually went into
He
Ingram.
said there's nothing at the elementary, by the way. I was trying to ask him about it. He said there's nothing there.
It's horrible. Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of Texas, tweeted out this morning.
Thank you, by the way, for
at 7:07.
They were trying to get me information.
This is an unimaginable flood in the hill country. It has brought so much loss and devastation. This morning, Texans are praying for these families. God be with them during this unimaginable pain and suffering. I want to thank all of the first responders and volunteers that are working around the clock.
Just a matter of time.
This is a truly tragic situation. My office stands ready to assist in any way we can for the victims of this tragic situation.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I can hear you. Yes. Give
Our hearts mourn
for
with
me.
you. So hopefully we get some reports here, and we'll continue to monitor the situation. Now, I don't think they're out of the woods as far as different locations in Texas. Particularly, there's warning people down the Guadalupe River. There could be major danger here. JLR investigates. Come on in.
City West.
So we'll probably get a Fox 29 report. The river surged 25 feet in under an hour. That's the reports. 25 feet surge in under an hour after 12 inches of rain fell.
Which way do you want me to go?
They're actually using the number 26 feet. 26 feet. And the pictures of these children, it's horrible. It's horrible. It was like a Christian summer camp.
Well, we're live in Ingram at a staging center here at City West Church. And I want to show you, I was able to talk to some of the folks here in one of the ambulances to get a little better sense of what's going on. We try to get in, but they aren't letting us in. It's all law enforcement and all of the rescuers, basically. They've got a tight lid on everything going on here. We've got so many law enforcement and so many EMTs, basically from different jurisdictions. We've seen a lot of them mobilize and a lot of them moving out. You probably see one here that's getting ready to get inside their unit. I think that is a game warden from the state of Texas. Got a backpack on. He's getting ready to load up and head out. And we saw a great deal of them actually moving to do just that. I think they got their orders a short time ago because we've seen a flurry of them just taking off. In fact, we're about to see one leave here right now. And so what we have found out is this is a check-in area for them. We've seen a lot of ins and outs throughout the morning, shift changes. We talk about it here. This is where they go, they get their marching orders, and then they leave for the day. We talked to a few of them and passing, and they say, yeah, we were out here yesterday, or no, this is our first time here. Here comes the game warden who's about to take off right now, and he's leaving for the day. They get direction where they're heading, and then they go from there. They mobilize, then they go from there, one direction or another, and then they take off. There's game warden passing, and then look, they've got ATVs on theirs, so they're about to take off with those two ATVs, passing another game warden that's taking off. They mean business. They're going to where they need to go. So this is kind of the hub of where they're heading and how they're going to get there. This is kind of the central nerve, if you will. And we've got more that are coming out too, and they're about to round up, get in those vehicles, and then take off to where it is that they need to go. So again, we try to get into that central nerve. Not going to happen this morning for us. So they got their marching orders. They're going to go where they need to go. And they've amassed from all over the state. We've looked on these vehicles. We've seen them from all over. We've got Uvalde EMS here. In front of that, we've got Schertz EMS. And passing us now is EMS Command. And this looks like it's from San Antonio that just passed us here. And we see some more cars and trucks that are backing up, and they're going to be heading out from different locations. So that's what we're dealing with here. We're going to try to get some more information about exactly where they're going. It's places that we can't get to, but maybe only these vehicles can get to, because you saw the ATVs that were here. And again, you can see the ambulances from all the jurisdictions. It's what Governor Greg Abbott says that we do best in our city. We've got the best rescue efforts in the world. And it's what he promised, is that everyone would be accounted for as a result of all the flooding that we saw here. And to your right is a mass casualty evacuation ambulance. Behind that is another jurisdiction. We saw a
We'll play that
as well. So many of them from so many different parts of the state. And again, this is where they get their marching orders, the staging area. And then from there, they get up and they go wherever it is they need to go to get that search and rescue effort underway. And hopefully not too many search and recovery efforts throughout the morning on the second day of what's become such a catastrophic event in the state's history in the Kerrville area. But reporting live from Ingram at City West Church, I'm Christina De Leon, Fox SA. We will send it back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay.
All right, so come on in, folks. This is Ingram. This is called City West Church. And it is, I just looked on it on Google Map. It is just north of the Guadalupe River in Ingram. And it seems like this is the staging ground. Ingram is just to the west or northwest of Kerrville. I remember we were passing through this area last year ourselves. I did a report, I think, true crime talk. Andrea Yates, one that drowned her 5 children, Kerrville, Texas. That's where she was staying at a mental hospital there. I actually was doing a report there, and they kicked me out of there. Said nobody can go on the property, nobody no filming on the property, whatever. Kerrville, I remember passing through there. So it's just, but Kerrville, just there's a lot of small communities along that Guadalupe River. And it's just, it's terrifying, you know, the fact that this happened in the middle of the night, early morning hours. Kerrville, they were saying, like Ingram and Hunt, they were saying around like 2-ish. Kerrville, about 4:30. So many pictures out there of these missing children and family members. Now, some have been found at the time. Pictures of missing children. And, you know, it's just, it's, I can't, you know, it's just, you got to be careful when you go to these camps. Or even hiking in the caverns, whatever, you know, the outdoor type of thing. It's just, it's horrible. So many children are still missing. They're saying that flooding could increase today because of just the area is inundated with so much water, makes its way through the creeks, tributaries, streams, low-lying area.
Yeah, so from last time I talked to you, we moved closer down, about 5 minutes away, closer through near Dutch Lane. So I'm outside the Hunt store, and you can see the devastation behind me. It's completely, lots of debris here. They were completely hit by this floodwater aggressively. The building is caving in. I mean, if you take a look over here, this was their gas station right here, completely flipped over. You wouldn't be able to tell what this is, and you can just smell the gasoline that's here. So I do have a resident, Jerry Adams, who has been here for some time. I mean, just look at this devastation here.
It's unbelievable. Like I say, I've been here since 1987, and I've seen 2 or 3 really good floods, but I have never seen one that just total disaster like this one is. They said this thing crested at 36 feet, and it's just, you know, I mean, like the Hunt store there, that was the hub of the community, and people would come down, and me and some other guys every morning to drink coffee, and sit and talk, and Carl was here every morning to open up and do the book work and everything, and like I say, I just live right up there on top of the hill, and I woke up at 3:30 in the morning, and I'm in a barn up there, and I had about that much water in the floor of my barn. I thought, what is going on? I mean, I knew it was raining, but I really feel bad for the people that have lost loved ones and property and everything here. I mean, it's just really hard to fathom that, you know, the destruction. It really is. And so,
Yeah, the destruction. I mean, just look behind us. This is just piles of debris that have stacked up. I mean, what was your first reaction to see the Hunt store the way it is? I mean, the gas station here completely flipped over. You smell gasoline here. It's just sad.
it was. I mean, I drove down there, and my jaw fell open. I couldn't believe it, because like I said, I've seen water come up maybe nearly to the road right here. I've seen it come up that much, but not up to there.
And if we could take a look over here, closer to this field area, if you want to take a walk with me, you could see, Jerry, this area. Was this usually like over here?
Well, that was just what they call the Preservation Society, and they always had our Sunday Easter service was down here at this little pavilion, and that was usually just a lot for parking, and all when Hunt had their 100-year deal or whatever here a while back, they had a big park out there, and I mean, it was just kind of for everybody to use, what it was. So.
And I could see from over here, you see a car that's completely flipped over and totaled. I mean, just looking at that wasn't there before.
No, it was in this driveway right over here.
So that just goes to show how aggressive this floodwater is coming through Hunt.
Oh, yeah, it had been coming through here 90 miles an hour. When I came down here at about 4 o'clock, right up there about where that sign is at a gate or whatever, right through there, yeah. That's as far as I could come. The water was coming through here, that deep, and I couldn't even cross it in that buggy.
Now, Jerry, I did speak to another resident that said, I'm just packing up. I'm getting out of here. Where do you start from here after rebuilding? How do you start? Where do you go from here?
Church.
Yeah.
Church.
And there's just a lot of,
Church.
resources that are going to be needed for this.
Oh, yeah. Well, they've had the Methodist Church open over here for what do they call it, the base camp or whatever, and that's where I went over there to see if they need anything, but there's nobody there now, so I guess everybody wants the shoemaker open, people could get out, and they've got plenty of water and food and stuff all already stacked over there, so hopefully they're all right. But it's gonna take a year or 2 or 3 for this thing to actually get back to the way it was.
And I know this is a small knit community. Where do you guys go for your gas now? And are you checking on neighbors and things like that since you are a tight knit community?
Oh yeah, we checked on. We drove up the road the other day and went to every house just to make sure there wasn't anybody still in there. I mean, we'll have to just go to Ingram to get gas and coffee. That's where I'm going next, unless you've got some coffee on you somewhere.
Is there anything else that you'd like to get out to your neighbors that are watching here in Hunt?
Just take care of your neighbors and take care of yourselves and pray.
Jerry, thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you.
So we will continue to be here in Hunt, and we'll keep you updated with the latest with this destruction. So back to you guys in the station.
A horrible situation. Hunt, Texas.
Absolutely.
He said he's going to church.
Yeah, long time. Wow, you did great.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much. It's a pleasure
Yes.
to meet you. Pleasure to
My-
meet you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Our
Take
anchors.
care, drive careful going back.
Our anchor said you would have got along with his friend in college. Coffee's the best answer, he said. You're right.
Coincidentally, one of the victims little girl. Her last name is Hunt. Looks like Janie Hunt, Sarah Marsh, and another little girl named Renee Smastrala. Confirmed loss from this flood. It is absolutely horrific. It's really, really bad. And we have 20 missing children still. 20. I mean, all hands on deck. Is it a search or is it recovery? You never want to lose hope. You know, I could think just months back, little girls get caught up in a kayak, you know, go lost in the Gulf of Mexico, end up being found. They were on a like a little remote spot with seashells and stuff. You know, you never know. Some of these children.
No sound is on. Cool.
Could be hung up on the tree somewhere. Could be hanging onto a tree down the river somewhere.
That's not yours? I don't think they need it. You can't even get in. Where do you start?
You blew up the whole thing.
You
The
just-
building's been hit since 1946. And it's just a shame.
It's like a bomb went off there. Look at the power.
Right.
It was so crazy.
I mean, just
It reminds me of the hurricane storm surge along the coast, particularly up when we were covering those hurricanes up in the Big Bend area of Florida in the last couple of years, those coastal communities.
Just so shocked. Yeah, I'll let you get in there too.
Look
But
at that.
your post office, I think, really blew me away. You're like, it was here. It was here. It's gone.
Post office gone. Reminds me of those communities up near Perry, Florida, along the coast. Steinhatchee, Sewanee. Post office destroyed. Storm surge comes in, blows out vehicles. But
Now,
with
I do
this
have a
case,
question for you.
really don't
We're
have
about to go
warning.
live. I know this is a difficult time for you. Would you mind talking to us live?
oh, I don't need to do that.
That's okay. You know, I figured I asked you. If not, I'll share everyone what you're telling me now. I'll be able to walk them through this. Is this what they were able to save? Some drinks? And you were the bookkeeper here?
No, I'm a part-time retiree cashier.
Cashier. So you got to see everybody come in. So you know everyone.
Reporters are good. Sit there and talk to the locals.
Just going to take a video of this. So tell me a little bit about this area. Was there a door here before?
No,
This is all open.
no, it was all closed.
Oh, this was all closed.
Well,
And
they had a couple of windows, but
Crazy.
Wow.
Hunt. So we take you to Hunt, which is, let me see the population of
this
Hunt.
area, part of it.
this was a storage area. We had an ice machine. But once
It's just a little small town. Hunt, Texas population.
back there floated off somewhere down the way.
Wow. Well, thank you for showing me around. This is just devastating.
Permanent population there of 1,332 people. However, during the summer months, the population swells to 3,000 due to campers. Hunt, Texas is located in Kerr
We're gonna do a
County
walk and talk I'm going to do about this area.
and is known for beautiful
We're gonna do a
scenery,
walk and talk. I'm going to go live for News 4. Right over here.
including the
That's the post office.
meeting of the
Gone.
North and South Forks of
I'll
the
show you.
Guadalupe River. So,
Yep.
kind of listening in what they're saying. So the population swells to 3,000 because of the camps. Lots of camps. The camps in the area.
See?
I'm
we'll start
expecting
here.
some press conferences
I'll walk
today
through
too.
it. Post office right there, and I'll grab a brick and show you. Hey guys, can you hear me?
Dozens of children still missing. Let me look at flight radar 24 too, because flight radar 24 probably will show us all types of aircraft in the sky. Yeah, there's choppers in the sky there right now. Or the Army. Oh, wow, the Army's in the sky. Right there south of Kerrville in Center Point. 173, the Army has a helicopter up in the sky. A Black Hawk. I'm looking at flight radar right along.
Oh, man.
I don't know what's happening to her voice there. There's also Army choppers up there by Kingsland and Coast Guard up there by Kingsland to the north.
I'm not sure what.
So I think their mics are coming in and out. But look, I mean, this also reminds me of what it looked like outside Asheville, North Carolina, when Hurricane Helene came in there and devastated those small communities through there too. It's like a combination of both, but it just shows you that these little communities, and you really don't get warning in the flash floods like that. You get the warning that there's a potential for rain, but these things, this thing was like, to me, I called it a landfoon. Landfoon is, thing was just spinning and spinning and spinning like a hurricane on land.
Was over on the other side of that, between those two trees.
Mm-hmm.
So there are lots of military choppers in the sky in that area right now, according to Flight Radar 24. Search, recovery, search, combination of both. Still, you would say that some people could be still alive. You know, I don't want to say, hey, these missing children. You never want to give up hope, and children are resilient, man. Humans are resilient, and there could be somebody or someone alive that's like piled in some debris on the side and just are pinned and can't move. You never know. But the search, I mean, they're out there, and they will be out there. Now, I don't know how many days this operation will be for, but the operation is just getting started, it looks like today, as far as like really ramping up, double of what was the resources from yesterday. That's what it appears when they were at that Ingram church. This is Hunt. We should get some press conference update hopefully soon.
Is this yours? Your owner?
No, I just leave cloth around here.
They keep coming in and out.
Oh, he's a cashier. Whew.
My ranch is completely destroyed. I have lost 62 bales, 62 round bales, and as we cut last week, and if the cattle had been in, they'd all been killed.
Oh, how you doing?
Never seen anything like this.
I know.
You need to walk over there and see where the post office is.
Yes.
Stand on the slab and shoot.
So I did show them. We went over here, and I shot from it right here. I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
I talked to another resident here, Jerry Adams. Can I talk to you as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Come over here. We'll go talk to you. You are more than welcome. I know you don't like to be on camera. I think this way would be safest. How long have you lived in Hunt?
Off and on since 1967.
1967.
So I was here for the flood of 69. I was here for the flood of
87.
87, 2002, and 78. I've been through 4 major floods here in the last,
Stiff.
nearly 60
I'll get it.
years.
Do you want to get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've never seen devastation like this. My ranch, my fence is gone. If the cattle had been in, they'd have all drowned.
Wow. So you let them free?
Huh?
You let them go?
No, they weren't in there at the time.
Gotcha.
We have people that lease our ranch and run cattle, and they had taken the cattle out because they were cutting hay.
Timing.
And all 62 round bales are gone. They're gone. Those bales weigh 950 pounds a piece.
Wow. That just goes to show like the amount, how aggressive and strong this was. Let me have you stand right here.
Yes,
I'm going to go to the car and just grab the mic, but I'll be right with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Not a problem.
All right, so let's continue the conversation. Right now, according to Flight Radar 24, there are 4 military choppers in the sky between Kingsland, is it called Lano, Llano, and Kerrville. After a massive amount of rain fell. Now, let me look at the forecast for this particular area. This is Hunt. This is a Hunt. Again, this is a population of 1,332 people. It looks like that is like the main store there. Post office gone. It does swell to 3,000 in the summertime, and that's where we are because of camps. Families go there camping. It's at the junction of the North and South Forks of the Guadalupe River on Highway 39. Just a very, very small community here. Many summer camps for girls call the area around Hunt home, including Camp Honey Creek, Camp Mystic for girls. That's the situation. Camp Waldemar, an all-boys camp, including Camp Stewart for boys. Camp Rio Vista, co-ed camps are also in the area. Mo Ranch. So it's known for camps. A lot of camps get busy at 4th of July. A lot get busy at 4th of July. So hopefully she'll be back here shortly. Abbott spoke last night. Saw that press conference a little bit. Maybe we'll play in a bit. I'm sure we'll get an update today. Abbott, Lieutenant Governor yesterday had a press conference. And as we watched, the officials in Kerrville, I think the county, Kerr County officials and the mayor and the local judge. The mayor was basically in tears yesterday. You can see sign down and everything. Mayor was tearful, and I almost shedded a tear myself. And I'm not virtual signaling. And this is pretty sad. This is bad. You know, you got families that are wondering where their children are. There's a report that 36 occupied RVs and 11 tiny homes were swept away in minutes in that area. We saw the report of houses with people in it floating away. A lot of people there. Okay, so we got an update. There will be a 11 a.m. press conference, apparently. 11 a.m. press conference. So we got it, and that would be Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. So we got that going. We'll get an update there. We'll probably stick around to there then, at least. It's just a terrible day. So Kerrville police say first responders worked all night during the search and rescue, and will be providing significant updates today at 11 a.m. Eastern. So it's 10:43. So an hour and 15 minutes from now, there will be an update. People are saying it's hard to express the level of devastation that happened here. The biggest takeaway of the night, people are saying online, is the scattered of communications. A lot of the emergency systems did not work. High-tech radios did not work. A lot of these children didn't even get warning or much time at all. Again, imagine you sleeping in your sleeping bag or you being woken up in the middle of the night because of emergency. Most of us, when we're passed out sleeping, we're passed out. And even if someone comes and shakes us and says something's going on, we really don't know what's going on in that moment. And it takes you a little bit to get up. And apparently the waters just kept coming and coming and coming real quickly and just went right through these areas where these tents were with these girls at Camp Mystic. And they just, I saw reports that they were screaming and it was just confusion. It was dark, flashlights, dark. You don't even know what direction to go. It's horrible. And we saw one video yesterday where they showed the muck, like this wall, tsunami wall that was coming, kind of like a flash flood, and everything behind it. It's just a wall of some, and it comes, and once it comes, and it moves pretty fast. I don't think you necessarily can outrun it. Different points, lots of rain. And there was a lot of rain to the north of this area. More than 20 girls missing. They're going to be providing a press conference here, 11 a.m. Hopefully we get some more information here shortly of what's going on with this search in the area. Just massive amount. So let me just scour around and see what's going on here so we can get different views and perspectives. Abbott spoke yesterday. I don't know if y'all saw the press conference yesterday. We have it. It is like 30 minutes. We could play it from yesterday to give you, their perspective, but we're going to stick with this and just see what's going on, what they say. Apparently, she's going to interview some residents here. Nowhere for that rain to go. All right, so that chopper that was down there in Kerrville, the military army chopper, is now headed, it just passed Fredericksburg to the north. Some of these local media were on it yesterday. They were out there in the mix of things. Great reporting. Great reporting when you jump into your vehicle and you go to the scene. All right, let me continue to look here. See if we can get any kind of new updates. JLR investigates. We are in just northwest of San Antonio, Texas. Over 200 dead. Or I'm sorry, over 200 rescues. They said 236 rescues. Missing children still. So this is a live shot that they have. We'll see where this takes us. The other, talking about the weather on the other one, which is just buckets and buckets of rain. Nowhere to go. It's going to have to go into a river somewhere with so much rain. A lot of the Highway 27 got washed away at numerous points. So they say at 10 a.m. Central. The camp in this general area in Hunt and between Hunt and Ingram host over 750 kids. $750 kids.
Back to live now from Fox as we continue following one of our top stories today. You're taking a look at some of that flooding there on your screen in central Texas. As of right now, we do know over 20 people are dead, several still missing. And I do want to head over to our Fox weather team, Bane Froney. She's been on the ground there since about midnight. Good morning to you, Bane. What are you seeing out there right now?
Hey, good morning. As the sun came up, it's just absolute devastation. Now, we were seeing videos coming in just yesterday with that river water just flowing so quickly, destroying everything in its path, picking up homes, trees, cars. And now that river water is completely receded, and now we're seeing a lot more of that damage. I'm going to step aside so you can look behind me, because what was once a home is now completely gone, completely swept away. You can see the foundation of the home there and the front porch, and that is all that is left for this area. Even further back, damage to one home, just walls, parts of the roof completely gone, and even further closer towards the river right now, just a completely uprooted trees, just total devastation in this area. And as of right now, the main effort, though, is going to be search and rescue. As of right now, 24 people have been confirmed dead, and there are still dozens that are missing. Among those that are missing are those young girls that were at Camp Mystic. Now, this is a camp that's just along the Guadalupe River, and overnight on Thursday night into Friday morning, swept away. Dozens are still missing. So, search and rescue are just really focusing on that and trying to hopefully be able to bring these girls home and reunite them with their families. The community is completely shaken up, just a lot of catastrophic damage that's going on here. So overnight on Thursday and into Friday, what happened was we saw just an intense amount of rainfall falling. 7 inches of rain fell in a very short amount of time here in Kerrville. And to kind of put that into perspective for you, 7 inches, that's a month's worth of rain, and that happened overnight. And so we saw the Guadalupe River rising over 20 feet within just 1 hour. So this flash flooding happened fast, and it came with a vengeance. And it, with running water, with a running river water, it'll sweep you off your feet with just a couple inches. Imagine feet. And so it's very difficult scenes here as we start to wake up. Again, homes just completely swept off of their foundation. Now, the governor of Texas did have a press conference last night and did issue a disaster declaration for 15 counties, also bringing in all of the first responders that they can. The U.S. Coast Guard here trying to help people get out and evacuate people as well. So what's been going on is we have this stationary boundary that's draped over the entire state of Texas. And so this is just sitting here, bringing in that isolated shower and storm potential. And we also have that moisture coming in from the Pacific, aiding in that rainfall potential. And the hard part is this boundary is still here. It's still sitting here. So we still have the chance to see showers and storms continuing on and off throughout the day, throughout the entire state, mostly the southern portion, like where we are right now here in Kerrville. So we still could see a little bit more rainfall, a few more inches of rain falling in these communities that are already, struggling and just facing just a lot of damage as they start to wake up this morning and try and piece things together. At our own hotel, we are, a couple miles away from this town, and even there, hotels completely booked up because people are just displaced and having to evacuate this area along the Guadalupe River. So on top of this, not only are we dealing with the damage here, but farther downstream, now we're going to start to see that water, that kind of a flood wave is what we've been calling it, moving farther downstream and going to be impacting communities farther south. And so one area, Spring Branch, their rain gauge actually rose 26 feet within the past 5-6 hours or so. So expecting flash flood warnings popping up. We already are seeing those throughout the community, and also many flood rescues, water rescues occurring currently throughout the state. We are monitoring one near Austin, Texas, where we saw even more flooding, a lot of rainfall throughout the entire state. It's not just here, it's going to be farther south as well. So as of right now, Texas authorities have said they've had over 300 water rescues and calls for help here in Kerrville alone. So that just shows you how many people are impacted by this, and it's just absolutely devastating. So as I mentioned before, search and rescue, that is at the forefront of everyone's mind, and just trying to get that effort out there and hopefully reuniting people with their family members, hopefully finding them safe and sound.
All right, we got another interview.
Yeah, so we're outside the Hunt store, which is a staple here in the area. I'm with Frank Siphon. Tell me a little bit about this area. I know you were getting emotional just talking about it. You grew up with this store.
I did. Sorry. My dad bought our ranch, which is right down the road, about 3/4 of a mile, in 1967. I grew up at this store. And I used to drive my tractor up here to fill it up with diesel fuel. It's gone. I mean, the buildings here, as you can see, but it's just destroyed. Back here in the back, 3 months ago, my new wife and I were dancing on that dance floor to one of our favorite bands. The post office is gone. My family goes back here to 1890. They've been here over 130 years. The family name was Edwards, and my dad was here for the flood in 1932, and the water got higher than it did here, or this flood, but it was downriver. And so this very well may be the worst flood Hunt has ever seen, because it would have started back up the South Fork. The devastation is unbelievable. How these kids survived in any of these camps along the river is nothing short of a miracle. But I grew up with this store. I've like I said, I've danced here, I've been here, sat by the fireplace in a rocking chair and drank a beer. The devastation, there are just no words, Taylor, that I can say that describe what I'm seeing. My ranch, it was completely underwater. The water got that high. Just unbelievable.
And I know we were talking a little bit earlier. This is a small knit community, and everybody knows everybody.
Yes, Hunt is a very small community, and the people here do know each other. The store was more than just a store where you could go to buy staples and a beer or a hamburger or whatever. It was really a social meeting point. It was a lot of fun to come here and eat and have dinner and visit with people.
Yeah, there's you talking about how you just married your wife a month ago, and you're dancing in here, and now just emotional just seeing what it looks like right now. I mean, there's some deep rooted memories in this building here for you guys here.
Yeah, there are. We've only been married 6 weeks, so it's new for her, but for me, it's a lifetime. My summers were spent here, living here, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's unbelievable, Taylor. That's all I can say. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, just no words at this time. I mean, your post office, where do you guys go right at this time? How do you rebuild from this?
It's going to take a long time. I mean, this community is resilient. They will rebuild. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be short. But, this will rebuild, and all of this trash will be gone, and the camps will hopefully rebuild and be a place where children can grow up.
Now, Frank, where were you when you first knew that those floodwaters are coming
I
through?
was living in my house in Kerrville. We live in the Highlands, so we're way high. But the storms, it started raining. We were at Howdy's dancing Thursday night, which is where they were doing live rescues, people out of trees. We left there at 10:15. It started raining at 10:45 because we were coming out of HEB. And about 1:30, the storms woke me up, and I was up the rest of the night. It was raining at my house probably 2.5 inches an hour. And it just kept coming. I knew it was going to be bad. About 4 o'clock, they started warning people of rises. At first one I saw was like 21 feet, and then it was 24.5 feet, and then it was like 27 feet. And I think we topped out here at 34.1 or something like that. But it didn't quit raining in Kerrville at our house till 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, you said you knew it was going to be bad, but you just didn't know the extent of what it actually
I
became.
knew it was going to be bad. I had no idea it was going to be this bad.
Now, were you seeing the alert on your phone about the flash flood warning and stuff like that?
Oh yeah. My phone was going off several times. Flash flood emergency, and I woke Marcella up at early that morning, and I said, "Honey, we need." And I tried to get to my ranch, couldn't. Water was completely over the highway. Tried yet last night, couldn't. So this morning, we got up at 7 and first daylight came out.
Now, Frank, I want to take our viewers over to the area where we can actually see inside the Hunt store. I mean, I want you to paint a picture of kind of what it did look like before all the debris kind of swept through this area, because it looks completely different.
A souvenir for you to take home.
Surely. Oh.
Roy Bowen, who's local here, raw honey.
He's got raw honey that
Yeah.
survived this area.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. Well, thank you so
You're
much.
so sweet anyway.
Thank you so much. We're going to go over to where Frank is.
Well, and you can't see now really, but right back in here, right over here was the cashier's stand. And then this all in here was where they had the staples. You could buy chips, beers, they had a cooler back there. Over here, you can see the fireplace. In the wintertime, they would light a fire and people could come in and have beer and sit around the fireplace and chat. Back this way was the restaurant. There used to be a bank right in here. It's now it was an ice cream stand, but they had great burgers and steaks, and it was just like I said, it was a meeting place. But as I look in here now, the devastation's beyond anything I can say. I mean, this is how the rocks withstood it and these posts withstood it is a miracle, because I've seen posts and everything bigger here this morning that did not withstand the flood.
Yeah, Frank, if we go further up to the front of it, I know you were talking about earlier.
There's a better view of this.
Yeah, where the building did not withstand and it kind of crushed through the front of the building. The bricks are completely gone here. So if you take a look, you can see which once was boarded up is now.
This wall, here's the fireplace I was talking about.
And then you also had a gas station that was right here.
The gas
as well.
pumps were here. You can see they're destroyed. But if you came around to the back side right over here, they had a diesel pump, and I could fill my tractor.
So yeah, this used to be boarded up, and now you can clearly see right in through the Hunt store. I'm going to get you a closer view of this. Now, Frank, how does this make you feel, just being able to stand inside here? Is this where you danced with your wife?
The wife was back on the outside porch. It was where we danced. So this was all, chips and jerky and foods and finger foods, and
But none of this stuff here You know, is
No,
not.
no. This was actually inside the store. You could buy bottle. There was a wine, like right about here, wasn't it? There was a wine rack. Wine rack was right here. You could buy some excellent wines. And again, in the wintertime, fireplace, you know, was kind of a gathering point. And but like we were talking about earlier, Taylor, this is a very, very small, tight-knit community. And
Just emotion. You just get emotional just looking at this and seeing what it once was and now what it looks like today.
you do. I thank God that people survived it, that we're here to talk about this. What those kids went through and adults along the South Fork of the Guadalupe River, I'll be honest with you, I can't imagine.
You just see how aggressive this floodwater swept through this area. I mean, you were talking earlier about your cattle and how you've lost the barrels. Was it?
Well, no, the cattle were, well, we lease our property, and some people here local to the community run some head out there. There were no cattle on the property. There were 62 round bales of hay because they just cut, and each one of those bales weighs about 950 pounds. They're all gone. All 62 bales are gone.
Yeah, it just goes to show again how aggressive those
How
floodwaters were.
the water was.
Absolutely. Well, you heard it from Frank here. The community here in Hunt is completely resilient. You know, it's an emotional state right now. So we'll keep you updated with the latest as we are stationed here in Hunt. Back to you.
So that's Hunt, locals in Hunt, giving you an assessment of what, you know, the devastation they have there in that community. It's crazy.
You're welcome. Frank, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
His name was Frank. Our thoughts and prayers are with Frank and the entire community. They gave her honey. The locals there gave her honey. Gave her honey.
When I woke up, the water was already 2 feet into my RV, and I grabbed my dog and my wallet, and I tried to get outside, and the water was flooded. The truck had me pinned, so I got out, and then I just hear screaming, family screaming, and kids, and I couldn't help. I just couldn't help.
How were you able to get out?
I worked my way towards the wall, and the trailer was coming, and somebody grabbed my arm and pulled me out of the water last night. And then I tried to go help, but by then it was too late. Everybody was down the river. So.
And I know you lost your
Everything.
trailer, your truck.
Yeah, Walmart, thank you. They gave me some shoes this morning. Yeah, we lost everything. A lot of people lost everything.
Has this ever happened in this area before?
We had a flood like last year maybe, but it wasn't nothing to this extreme. So this is devastating.
So what's going to be next for you? Trying to
find a place to live, trying to get clothes. I don't know. Trying to get my life built back together, I guess. Nobody expected this. That's what's sad about it. A lot of people lost their lives today.
And have you heard of anybody that you know or anybody that you might have shared?
There was a buddy here that passed away, I guess, a guy that worked here. I'm not sure the info, but we do have casualties. So it's a sad day in Kerrville. Sad day.
Thank you for talking to us.
Yep.
Well, crews were working on air rescue missions all day long yesterday. We know that's going to continue today. We're told almost 170 helicopter rescues in total. Governor Greg Abbott posted this rescue video to his X account, a first responder saving a woman who was clinging on to a tree. We're seeing a lot of this in the aftermath of the flooding because when water like that sweeps you away, sometimes the trees are the only thing there really are to grab onto. So this woman was whisked away. She is safe. And the state says that we're going to see a lot of these efforts continue today, even though it is raining in Kerrville right now. The weather could pose some challenges for them as they embark on these rescues.
During the press conference last night, officials there said over 800 assets are being used, boats, helicopters, high-profile vehicles. Again, 167 people rescued by helicopter just yesterday. And these pictures of people clinging to trees is just how strong are these folks, and what they went through. My goodness.
And to get your hopes up to be rescued and for it to start raining again and to have to wait and to watch those helicopters land, and trust that they're coming back for you. I can't imagine the emotional turmoil that must go into the waiting to be rescued.
Yeah, and just hoping, right, somebody sees you because of all of the debris that's in that water and the rushing water going so fast. Let's go back to the area along the Guadalupe River near Louise Hayes Park. The house is swept away. David Mendoza spoke to one resident there whose house was swept off its foundation and into the neighboring house.
So these are actually the front stairs you're showing me right here.
These are the front stairs right here.
Okay.
The house, that's the front entrance right here.
Wow. So we have a big shift of movement.
Yeah, we watched some of that yesterday in that area.
So that was from Guadalupe Plaza. That is over in Kerrville, near Kerrville, where David Mendoza, our photographer, was speaking to folks there in that mobile home park. So you saw that mobile home park. To the left of it, there was a home that was swept away.
There's in the video, it's just kind of a big open space. So David got there actually right as people were starting to come out of their homes or come back and see the damage. People were walking around without shoes on. They had just been woken up. And that same man that he spoke to came outside and said, yeah, there used to be a house right there, just completely swept away down the river. He said that there was a family that lived there.
Yeah, a family of a mom, a dad, and their 2 kids. So scary, terrible stuff. This is video sent in by a viewer showing floodwaters off of Highway 27 in between Center Point and Comfort. They're standing in ankle-deep water. You can see what it looks like, a camper partially submerged.
We also have video showing an emergency response vehicle stuck and flooded out. It's in the ditch right there. And then all the destruction. You see the power lines lower through the trees. Just a scary sight when even the rescue vehicles get caught up in this. We know the San Antonio Fire Department actually sent some resources out to this area even before the tragedy because they knew this was coming and they wanted to get prepared. We know the state of Texas sent resources in advance as well. Looking at the forecast, they know this is an area that floods. But last night at that press conference, officials told us that they were unaware that it was going to flood to this extent. The Kerr County judge, Rob Kelly, telling us that this is an area that is kind of used to this, but that they could not have predicted that the water was going to rise in this way. So they did have some resources on site already as the water started rising. Obviously, more resources going in the hours after, and then today as well. Just the destruction. It's difficult to look at all of the trees and the houses. This is a home that is kind of stranded in the video you're seeing now.
And it's when you look at it with fresh eyes this morning, it breaks your heart even more that there are still people that are out there missing, and people who don't know where their loved ones are. Let's head over to meteorologist Jeanette Kaye. She's been tracking the storms that caused all of this from the beginning. Jeanette, you are keeping a close eye on a storm in Guadalupe County now, right?
Yes, so in Guadalupe County, I am noticing some storms that are just sitting and they're dumping a lot of rain in some of the same spots. Flash flooding is happening there. And I'm going to show you radar coming up, but I do want to show you this.
It hits everybody hard. And for a community, a tight-knit community like we are, we're 25,000 people in Kerrville. And, pretty much everybody knows everybody here. And when we have an event, a catastrophic event like this, it hits hard and it hurts. But everybody coming together, the outcry, I was telling you in the break a while ago, I've had Marines that I served with from across the nation reaching out saying, what can we do to help? And the answer to that question right now is pray. That's what we need. We need prayers. That's what we need for the families and for our remarkable, I can't tell you how many first responders are here. I was in the operations room a while ago. We have obviously our Kerrville Police Department, Fire Department. We have our Sheriff's Department. We have our state officials, game wardens, Coast Guard, Texas Rangers. We have federal agents here that are here to help, sent down. And it's just like going, wow.
Every city that is around this area in the state of Texas has shown up. I can't even tell you how many. We were trying to count. We can't even count that amount.
It's unbelievable. I had the mayor of Brazoria, which is down south of Houston, calls me yesterday and goes, what can we do? If you say the word, we're coming. And it's just like that kind of outreach and support is loved. Not needed right now because we have so many resources, but it is just unbelievable to see how the state and the community has come together.
And I think what makes this so difficult, and I think as a nation and as a state and as this community feels, is when it involves children. That's what makes this so hard for so many people to take in. And I know as a community, we all come together and we feel this as a community. Can you talk to us about how Kerrville, this community, has come together? Because when we talk about children, that's what makes it so sensitive for everybody in this community. And that's what makes people get up and move as quickly as we've seen them out here.
Yes, ma'am. Children are the future of this nation, future of our community and our future leaders. And to have this tragedy with our children out at the camps is unfathomable. It's, we were supposed to have our 4th of July party yesterday in the park, 4th on the River, hosted by the Arcadia Live. Well, they pivoted from hosting 4th on the River to being a center for resources and things like that. It's the church is coming together. First United Methodist Church opening a shelter, having 150 beds for displaced families and individuals from the flood. That's how our community is. We all come together as one and we work together as a team. And that's what's so lovely about Kerrville and Kerr County.
Yeah. And so it's going to take years for this community to really maybe get back on its feet. It's obviously devastating, and we're going to wait for more information to come out at 10 o'clock. And I know you guys are trying to gather that for us right now, and you've got a little bit of an operations center going on back there, but this is where we're going to have this press conference and more updated information. Or is there anything else that you'd like to add? Any information that you'd like to give this community? I know so many people are watching. Anything that you want them to know?
Just pray. That's what we need. It's, I can't say that enough. And, it's, as a Christian, and I'm not trying to throw religion out, but we come together as one, we pray, and the Lord Almighty above will watch over and protect everybody and get us through this.
Right. And I know there's still search and rescue operations going on, and you guys are doing everything in your power with the help of so many resources here in Texas to get as many people out safely as we can. And that's what you guys are doing, and that's what you hold steadfast to.
Yes,
and of course, we will bring you updates as we can from this youth center here in Kerrville. At 10 o'clock, we will have live updates for you. And again, thank you so much for your time. Jeff Harris, City Council person here in Kerrville. He was gracious enough to come and talk to us. I know you're doing God's work here, and we appreciate your time, your efforts, your energy. And at 10 o'clock, we will have updates from this event center. But for now, we will send it back to you guys in the studio. Before he leaves, ask where exactly were you searching today? Do you have that information?
I do not. That's our first responders. I'm here just to support city staff and any way that we can. We have the mayors here. All 5 council members are here trying to help, staying out of the way and letting them do their deals because they're the experts.
And I know that when I was at the operations center at West Church, they were getting orders at different locations is what I was trying to glean that information to, Marissa. Good question. And they were told different locations. They weren't telling me where, but they were going to different locations through ATV and through the big trucks. And they were told different, they wouldn't give me, because I was trying to find out too, or thinking like alike, girl. They were told different locations, but they wouldn't give me those pinpoint locations. And that does sound right, that they just wouldn't be one location, right? But they were told different locations. So one person would drive off this way, another would drive off that way. And so they were given multiple different locations to get to, and that's where they were heading. And one would go ATV, one would go raft. And so it was different locations near that Mystic Camp Mystic, and they wouldn't even tell me that, but I know that they are still looking for people from Camp Mystic, and they would head out, and that would be it, and they would remain tight-lipped about where it is that they were going. So I know that the helicopters, the rafts, the ATVs would be searching, and then we even saw brush cutting trucks also. So they were doing everything in their power, but unfortunately, they would not reveal those locations to me, and I'm sure the councilman doesn't know where those are.
I do not. It's
yeah.
You know, we have a general idea,
Yeah.
but that's, like I said, that's the experts that are doing it.
Yeah.
We're staying out of their way and letting them do their deal,
Yeah.
because that is the number one priority we have right now, is search and rescue.
Yeah. Absolutely.
we have a
That is the
press
best we could
conference
do,
coming
because
up.
I did try asking that location, but what I did glean was that it was different locations. It just wasn't one spot. So unfortunately, they just would not reveal those locations to me. So I'm sorry, I don't have the better answer for you, but it is an all out effort, and it's a whole bunch of people that are doing it all at once as we speak right now. So we'll send it back to you.
All right, so we have a press conference coming up in the next
Thank you.
40
Okay.
minutes.
Okay, now they want you to go to Fox. They're very, very, very happy with you. They liked you very much. Pamela Andon, we want to go in today. Pamela Allen runs a nonprofit organization. Where's the most help needed right now?
Right now, for nonprofits, we have so much stuff. We don't, you know.
Okay, I've got to stay put. They want you right now on
Okay.
Fox. You're very popular.
Well, unfortunately, that's
Okay. Do you need, because last night was kids' clothes. So they're doing weather over there on Fox. Here, I'll put it on for you. This is a different weather guy.
90, you know, you've got soil, just like in South San Antonio. You don't have the same limestone foundation as you do in the hill country.
What do you need specifically? She'll bring whatever you want. She's with
water can soak in much better
name.
out and around Seguin than it can there along that 35
church is bringing
You know, one thing that has become kind of very evident.
Last night you said kids' clothing.
Kids'
You
clothing,
said weather.
diapers,
You need all of that still?
San Antonio. The message. Okay, perfect. I saw the snippet of the interview that you had with this guy in OAI, and it was really good. So you can take as long as you want. In these flash flooding events.
Jeff Harris. I'm gonna make sure.
Not a time to laugh. Thank you, everyone, for the 400K shout out. Thank you. We just crossed 400K. Big milestone on JLR Investigates. Appreciate that. Very. It's a bad situation, but we do appreciate that.
Where you've been this morning. So you were over in Spring Branch near 281. Now you're headed over towards Guadalupe County, New Braunfels, southeast, south area of that. Did you notice a difference in weather? Notice the heavier rain as you were moving towards it?
Oh, absolutely. Spring Branch. I was in Spring Branch on the other side of 281, I believe the west side of 281. The rain there was very light sprinkles, very just a couple drops here and there, and it would pick up a little bit, but nothing too dramatic. And as I've gotten into New Braunfels, definitely the rain has picked up just a little bit. It's going a little bit off and on as well, but definitely heavier rain than anything that I was seeing out of Spring Branch.
And meteorologist Jeanette Kai has been telling us this morning that at least the river in New Braunfels is not expected to massively flood like we saw in Kerrville. Canyon Lake going to absorb a lot of that. But Seguin is the area that we are concerned about right now. Rainfall rates over 5 inches per hour in Seguin. So again, this has been Ethan Trejo. He's headed out that way to bring you a picture of that. We have been told there's flash flooding in the area. We've got Jeanette back with us again. What do we need to know as this situation develops? Because this is just like yesterday, things are moving very quickly.
Well, there is a thunderstorm that's now over McQueenie, which is just to the west of Seguin, southeast of New Braunfels, receiving rainfall rates right now over 10 inches per hour. Let's take a look at, by the way, do want to point out New Braunfels.
Look at that.
There are some heavy thunderstorms just to your north. Now, we're not going to see any flooding.
10 inches per hour.
See that massive flood wave along the Guadalupe into New Braunfels. However, there are storms that are now developing to the north, slowly pushing towards your south. So be mindful of that. I don't know if there's folks that are still hanging out there camping given the holiday weekend. However, this could bring some flooding to the New Braunfels area, these additional storms that are developing farther to the north. And if those storms sit over at New Braunfels, then we could be looking at a flooding situation there. The flash flooding right now is in Guadalupe County. There is a flash flood warning. This goes until 11:15. Looks like here goes another one just coming in, flash flood warning for areas a little farther to the west from Seguin. Here is the most intense part of the storm over the city of McQueeney, west of Seguin. When you look at something like this on radar, this is indicating, wow, that is a lot of rain. And I checked this earlier. This is over 10 inches per hour. So pouring rain in Guadalupe County
where's all that
just
water
to the
going to
south
go?
of Seguin, just to the south of McQueeney, southwest of Seguin. So folks watching us here along I-10 in Guadalupe County, south of McQueeney, southwest of Seguin, very, very heavy rainfall. Flash flooding is happening a little farther to the east because we've already seen rainfall amounts there exceed 4 inches. And we'll check that out momentarily. Here is that thunderstorm, that heavy thunderstorm
There's so much rain.
that's now over northeastern Comal County. That is approaching green and looks like it's headed towards New Braunfels. This is where Ethan is traveling along Highway 46 as he continues farther south into Guadalupe County. He's definitely going to come into some very heavy rain. I'm noticing that rainfall rate increasing even more in eastern Comal County. That thunderstorm looks like it is not moving. So heavy downpours there just to the north of Green and well north of New Braunfels. As I pause this here, there's Canyon Lake. So we're seeing thunderstorms that are developing just to the east of Canyon Lake, far eastern Comal County with those gusty storms. Now here's a look at the radar estimated rainfall amounts. This is just from the last couple of hours along Highway 90 in Guadalupe County. Now this is estimating upwards of 8 inches. Closer to Seguin, close to 3 inches. McQueeney, almost 2 inches. However, I'm going to add another ½ an inch to an inch or more. And the rain is just going to continue a little farther to the west and southwest where that very heavy rain core is sitting at right now. So flash flooding most likely going on in Guadalupe County. Reminder, flood watch in effect until 7 o'clock this evening. We are going to see some on and off light to moderate rain here in San Antonio throughout the day today, but there could be a thunderstorm that develops later this afternoon. So I'll continue to keep an eye on things and I'll bring you another weather update coming up.
All right, so we're continuing getting understanding what's going on. Massive amount of rain in that area. Still, it's crazy. And we got a press conference coming up for 11 a.m. Eastern, so the next half hour or so. There's also a live footage outside of Kerrville, Texas. So we could put that back up. I don't want to go off this feed until the at least the press conference comes up so we can just listen. I'm assuming it might be the governor. Don't know who exactly speaking. Let me look and see and try to find out what is going on. This is a live look. Kerrville, Texas. We saw this same area yesterday when that river was much higher, much higher than it was today. Let me see exactly who's speaking at this press conference here. Keep your thoughts. Yeah, 10 inches in an hour is insane, especially when the water has nowhere to go. It's just absolutely crazy, folks, out of Texas. And I want to know about the missing girls. All right, so they're saying the press conference is happening at the Hill County Youth Event Center. So we have an understanding. Yeah, just the massive amount of water. Just it totally reminds me of the Carolinas with the hurricane Helene. Totally reminds me of storm surge off the coast of Florida in these communities. Some of the storm surge and the rescues that were taking place after Hurricane Helene. when we were down there in the eye. So not much activity going on right now. It doesn't appear. Looking at the different feeds, that news report was out, and that was alive. So we are live. We're just going to wait for this press conference. No need to go off. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, everyone, for the compliments. Again, we've reached 400,000. Yes, very grateful. Huge, big for our channel, the JLR Army. It's, I didn't want to kind of like sit there and say, hey, we reached 400K in the middle of a massive search. You get what I mean. But I do appreciate the congratulations, because we worked very hard with all of you together. Some of you have been sharing when you joined the channel. Some I've seen Kevin at 80. I saw Denise at 60,000. Some of the people have been here since the very, very beginning of when we started. And we only been on here for 3 years now, less than 3 years, right? Less than 3 years. So 400K in less than 3 years, not that bad, as we continue to grow and share what's going on in real time around the country. As you know, this is what we do on the channel. We take you to the stories and keep the stories going on the channel. They showed a clip earlier, I guess, of Abbott speaking. He spoke last night, Greg Abbott. They've deployed so many resources here. A matter of fact, on the beginning of this live feed, I saw so many different county emergency vehicles, catastrophe, those type of big giant vans and whatnot, the swamp buggies, the four-wheelers, all that stuff, the boats, the pontoon boats, the boats going out there. And but one thing I haven't noticed, though, is like they haven't really, no media has taken us to the searches. We don't know where exactly they're searching. I know Flight Radar has a military chopper, here's a Chinook in the sky right now around Kerrville right now. And it seems like there's a massive amount of just northwest of Austin. So that's something we have to keep an eye out too. It looks like there's lots of choppers in the Marble Falls, Largo Vista area. Yeah, there's some activity going on just northwest of Austin. Spicewood. It looks like Burnet. I guess that's called the Balcones, Canyonlands, National Wildlife. There is 3 choppers in the sky there and a military plane in the sky. Or no, that's a private plane. So 3 military choppers in the sky in that general area. So I'm going to keep an eye out on that, because Burnet, which is northwest of Austin, we discussed that a little bit this morning. Burnet received, I'll tell you, because this popped up this morning when I was searching Burnet. Make sure I get it here. Burnet, Texas, they received massive amount of rain. West of Round Rock, tell you how much. 10 to 20 inches of rain fell overnight in Lago Vista, Marble Falls, Burnet, just northwest of Austin. One meteorologist put out Burnet, Texas averages 32 inches of rain per year. They have had 3 months of rain in the past 3 hours there. 3 months of rain in the past 3 hours in that area. One spot they're saying getting worse, 15 inches of rain fell just east of Burnet, between Burnet and Liberty Hill. So we got our eyes on that area too. It's dumping 3 inches of rain per hour. New flood emergency extended till 11 a.m. Eastern. Water is getting into homes in the Burnet area. So let me see if we can get some update there in Burnet. We'll be looking at Burnet, Texas. It looks like it's really, really bad in Burnet right now, but no live feeds of going on there in Burnet. We'll stay with it. Plus, there's so many children missing. Still over 20 children missing. Texas flooding. So we are live at Kerrville. along the Guadalupe River, which you see has receded significantly. All that up there, that across on the north side there, all that was underwater yesterday while we were watching live. So just want to give you a perspective there. Fox has a feed up too. Might switch over there too in a second. Kind of give you different perspectives while we wait for this press conference in 25 minutes. 25-minute press conference update. What's going on? Flood emergencies are happening all over the place. Flood emergencies happening all over the place in Texas. New Braunfels. They said numerous rain, 10 inches per hour rate in that area just east of Burnet. They have received 15 inches of rain this morning. So it's still really crazy out there. And we might have possibly new locations of concern, particularly northwest of Austin, just west of Cedar Park. I think we were covering that area.
Families are craving. We want to make sure we get information to families as quickly as we possibly can. But most importantly, we will stop at nothing to ensure that every asset and person and plane and whatever is needed is going to be involved in the process of rescuing every last person and ensure everybody involved in this is going to be fully accounted for. As a part of this, I'm signing a disaster declaration. Definitely one that includes this area, but includes more than this. And this is the proclamation here that I'll sign, but I want to tell you in here, I'm declaring a state-based disaster for those in the following counties: Bandera, Coke, Comal, Concho, Gillespie, Kendall, Kerr, Kimball, Llano, Mason, McCullough, Menard, Reeves, San Saba, and Tom Green counties.
This was earlier, but they're showing I believe this happened last night. They're showing the feed again of Abbott while we wait for the next.
This will ensure all the counties that are identified in this, and there may be more that need to be added later, have access to every tool, strategy, personnel that Texas can provide. We put in everything we have in the entire state. Someone who's been involved in this and shares the commitment is the Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick.
Thank you, Governor. Dalton, who's our city manager, told us earlier that he was jogging at 3 a.m. along the river, and there wasn't a drop of rain falling. And within a few hours, the Guadalupe had risen about 26 feet, and actually it rose that quickly in about 45 minutes of those 2 hours. And since that first alert went out early this morning, 4 and 5 a.m. here, the sheriff immediately sprung into action. And since 4 or 5 this morning, they have not stopped. We put forth 400 to 500 state employees, DPS, game wardens. I'll let the speakers talk about the specifics of everyone we had in the air, drones, helicopters, but from the first minute that this storm went from 3 a.m, not a drop of rain, until the tragedy struck and the river rose, these people behind us, Governor, have done everything they can. And there have been a number of rescues, and they'll speak to that as well during the day. And I echo what the governor said. As I said earlier, we will not stop until we find every body, and the rescue continues that effort. We will not stop. And it is God Almighty that we need. Not a thought and prayers message. Hey, get down on your knees and pray for these families tonight and all these children. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you. There's going to be other people who speak here, but before they do speak, I want to recognize a few others who will be involved in this process. One is the state representative from this area, West Riddell. Why don't you let people know who you are? And we're also in the state Senate district, Senator Pete Flores. And we have the Texas Parks and Wildlife Game Warden, Colonel, who's here with us. Thank you all for being a part of this process. And now I want to turn things over to Sheriff Letha.
Yes, Sheriff Larry Letha, Kerr County. What I'd like to let y'all know and the public know is, like the governor said, we do have all the resources we need at this time, and we will continue to have them until we finish this mission. I want to tell y'all that we will be working around the clock 24/7 until every person is found. What I can confirm at this point, we're at about 24 fatalities. We're not going to be giving any names out at this time. We're still notifying next of kin. Also, I've been notified one fatality has been found in Kendall County. I cannot say it's related to this incident at this time, but we'll let y'all know when we find out more information. I asked the media to be real patient with us during this time. We've got a lot of things going on. Y'all see what? There's a lot of people here. We have a lot of resources. We just need more time, and we're looking really forward. We'll be working 24/7 overnight into tomorrow through the next several days in this mission. We will get you information as we get it. We will get it to you. We'll continue to have briefings. We'll continue to keep updated at this time. At this time, I'll turn it over to Mayor Herring.
I'm Joe Herring Jr. I'm mayor of the city of Kerrville. My job today is to tell people thank you. People from across the state have come to help. City, county, state, all working together, all working for the same goal. I want to say thank you to the dedicated men and women of the first responders. You are our heroes today. We will not stop. We will rescue those in peril, and we will find those who are missing. But I'd also ask, please pray for our community. This is a hard day, and there will be hard days to come. Pray for us. We covet your prayers. Thank you.
The task of the Texas Department of Public Safety is to serve and to protect our state, as well as to keep people safe.
Good afternoon. As the governor has already said, he has ordered me to provide every capability that the Texas National Guard has to these local officials in this community. Today, we activated 5 helicopters with hoist to do rescue operations. They were paired with rescue swimmers from Texas Task Force 1. These crews trained together year-round just for this situation, and they were ready to respond. Additionally, we have 3 additional helicopters on the way to support the community. We are also using high-profile tactical military vehicles to move evacuees out of high water areas to shelter locations. As of a few hours ago, we had rescued or evacuated 237 people, and 167 of those were by helicopter.
Again, that was a portion of the update that was held last night with Governor Greg Abbott and other Texas officials. Now, we have learned here coming up in just about 20 minutes or so, that is when the next briefing is scheduled there with officials in Kerr County, Texas. We're going to bring that to you in full as soon as it gets underway right here on Live Now from Fox.
All right, so
we're
we
going to
wanted
head to a quick break, and on the other side, we will head out live to the area of Kerr County, where Fox Weather has been stationed. We'll have that for you coming up here in.
All right, so we gave you that perspective. That press conference was last night with Abbott. They kind of just played a couple certain things on that with the mayor of Kerrville, military deployed. Yeah, you know, some people, I just will say that this has been brought to my attention about this bill that has been introduced in Texas. It's called Texas SB 1154. And it is a bill, basically an act relating to prohibiting on weather and climate modification activities by a government entity. And I'm reading this bill and it's just crazy. Weather modification. And I know some people in the chat were talking about weather modification. Whether you believe it or not, I kind of do. Let me know your thoughts on weather modification. But this bill is an act prohibiting on weather and climate modification activities by a government entity. And this bill in Texas, SB 1154, this bill prohibits government and entities in Texas from engaging in geoengineering, weather modification, and cloud seeding operations. The bill defines geoengineering as the intentional injection, release of chemicals, chemical compounds, and substances into the atmosphere with the express purpose of affecting temperature, weather, or sunlight intensity. The legislation modifies the agricultural code to remove previous provisions that allow government entities to conduct or cooperate in weather modification activities. It also narrows exemptions from licensing and permit requirements to focus on private institutions, higher learning institutions, and nonprofit research organizations, removing references to state and federal agencies. It's crazy. It looks like the bill was killed 1 month ago. So it takes you back to weather modification. Well, some people in the chat are saying HARP and everything like that. You know, I'm a weather guy. This is something I've been fascinating with ever since I was a kid. Watching weather. I used to watch the Weather Channel as a kid all the time, the crazy storms. And I just know, you know, I'm not saying climate change or not. I think definitely things are happening in this country with storms being more intense and just popping up in just weird directions of these storms. I mean, this one here looked like literally like a typhoon on land spinning around. Like, how does that even happen? How does a hurricane go into the Carolinas and do massive amounts of damage? You know, it's rain. It just got steered to that direction. How in the heck does the panhandle of Florida get 12 inches of snow just months ago? How in the heck does that even happen? How in the heck is in Antarctica right now one of the coldest temperatures ever recorded on Earth? But yet other storms are just brewing and it's crazy rain, just massive amount of rain that just get dumped and dumped. The intensity of these storms, how in the heck did these hurricanes lately get formed in the Gulf of Mexico and turn into category 5 hurricanes within 24 hours? That's what we've been seeing in the last couple of years. And I know, you know, we go back 10,000 years of time and storms come and go. But I personally been seeing some very weird weather in the last few years. And some people will say it's weather modification. That is called. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't want to peddle that, saying that. I'm just like, that's the talk. There's a lot of talk about that. Whether you believe it or not, it is worth to have a conversation. It's extreme both ways, both winter and both, you know, storms. Extreme either way. It goes either way. I mean, it's strange to say the least. This is just not normal. We're not there. And that's all really I can touch on that. I'm just sharing what's coming out of my brain right now as I talk. But there's some crazy stuff going on around. And for them to introduce a bill about weather modification makes me feel like they feel like the government, the federal government, is modifying the weather, cloud seeding and injecting things into the atmosphere. For what purpose, though? Is that a place to drive people out of rural communities? make people go to cities. I don't know, or to a form of control or what. Me being on the Florida coast, I'm very concerned about this because I am literally on the Gulf of Mexico where I live. And my elevation is 12 feet. This particular case by the river raged up to close to 34, 36 feet. There were some reports that went to 41 in the Guadalupe. I mean, I don't think there's anywhere near me that's the elevation is 40 feet at all, but it's scary. It's very, very, very scary. I mean, even some of these blizzards that have been happening, it's just been more and more intense. So much snow. It goes either way. It goes like with rain, heavy rain, tropical rain, so much rain just pounding down like 10, 15 inches per hour, even with snow and some of these blizzards, particularly in Western New York that we covered in the last year or so, just massive amount of snow just getting dumped. It's just like the atmosphere is either dumping so much moisture. And again, I've been covering storms and watching storms since I was a kid. Just never in the last few years I've seen it so bad and just so intense. Look at the tornadoes that have been happening in the last couple years too in certain areas. It just seems like everything. It just seems like every form of weather has been enhanced. It's just been enhanced. Like it's not weak. So something just to keep an eye out. It's definitely worth a conversation. Hopefully we can get some answers to that. So this is the live scene at Hunt, Texas. As we're preparing for a 11 a.m. Eastern press conference, we will cover it here as it goes on. A massive search for children. Children are still missing. So many children out there. It's horrible. It's horrible. But as a parent and everything like that, it's, when you send your kids out to these camps and stuff like that, just follow the weather, just pay attention. I'm not saying let your kids go to these camps and everything else. This is things kids do in Central Texas. I think it's a good thing for kids to be at Christian camps and learning about the water and being there and just camping and having campfires and just that it's good for kids. I think that's good. No one imagined this would happen. It might have people think twice. The cleanup is underway. They're cleaning up this small town called Hunt, Texas, population 3,000 at its peak. Half the population in the summer is because of the camps. There are numerous camps for children. Camp Honey Creek, Camp Mystic. That's the one we've been talking about, Camp Mystic, the missing girls. Camp Waldemar, an all-boys Camp Stewart. Camp La Junta, Camp Rio Vista, co-ed camps, Mo Ranch. There's an addiction treatment center in that area. It's unbelievable, but, weather modification. I mean, I just saw some crazy weather just a couple years ago on the top of Mount Washington, which is known as the windiest spot on earth in New Hampshire. The wind chill was like negative 100 degrees. It was like insane. The massive amount of winds. Like it happens up there, but it's just so intense lately. I mean, I personally saw some crazy stuff here when we were covering Diddy just the other day in Largo, Florida. There was a tornado that ripped through a mobile home park for elderly, and it was just insane. Just the winds, it just came out of nowhere. But tornadoes do pop up. Yeah, this is so sad, Kim P. Our prayers are with everyone in Texas. Looks like Texans coming together, though. Everyone comes together when these things. You got the police there. Just heartbreaking. I mean, this is a big deal for these small communities because they rely on like one little general store, one little gas station. think the town I was in Florida, Kiwani, was the same thing. It was like this little general store that supplied the food and the groceries to the locals there, and the locals had maybe like 1,000 or 2,000 people. And that store that I saw, I actually interviewed the store owner before, and she was very scared that they were going to get destroyed. And lo and behold, they got destroyed. There was 6 feet of mud inside that store. Post office, mud, just mud, surge, mud, bunch of mud. You know, some people probably question whether they should rebuild or not. Insurance. You know, does insurance cover this kind of thing? So we got about 5 more minutes until a press conference. I saw some another feed that they were setting up the chairs and everything like that. So we'll listen in. I don't know who's going to be speaking, but we'll get an idea very, very shortly. It's like a bomb went off. Awaken One says, we've been lied to about everything. Thank you for the comment. Weather manipulation. People use the word HARP. So the cleanup is underway. Press conference about to go. Maybe we'll get an update about the children. Maybe we'll get some sort of miracle that children are being found. We just don't know the extent. I do know there's choppers up in the sky. Clearly saw that. In that general area. There's a chopper in Dripping Springs. There's a chopper up in the sky in Burnet. There's a Travis County Star Flight that's up in the sky in Lago Vista. Is that called Lago? All right, here we go. Press conference.
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1.
5-minute warning.
5 5 4 3 2 1. Check. Everybody good? Good.
All right, looks like we're gonna get a 5-minute warning here. I'll check the other feeds too if we get one that's not as grainy here. Crazy. Maybe there's a miracle. And they found some children alive. I hope so. Or we're getting this 11 a.m. press conference Eastern. So that'll be 10 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Mountain, 8 a.m. Pacific. Wherever you're at, coming up in a few minutes. God is mad with Texas.
I can't say they're not. I haven't seen it. I mean, like I said, yeah, no, they don't.
Sorry, Sheriff.
It's like the sheriff.
It's all good. It's all good.
Looks a little rainy.
Good morning to everybody. We appreciate your being here. Appreciate your coming out here and covering us in this difficult time. We're going to have this is a press briefing this morning. We're starting at 10 a.m., so we're starting now, and we're going to have two more today. We'll have one at 2 and one at 6. And the purpose of each one will be to update you from whatever our previous numbers are. So this morning we'll be updating you from where we were last night. And then at 2, we'll update you from where we are now. And 6, same thing. And speaking this morning, we are going to have Kerr County Sheriff Larry Letha. Representative Chip Roy is here with us.
Chip Roy.
Kerrville Mayor Joe Herring Jr. will be speaking briefly. And Kerrville City Manager Dalton Rice. And when we are done, because we are still in active search and recovery mode, we're going to keep this short. We'll allow 5 questions. And I'm going to turn it over now to Sheriff Letha. Thank you.
As probably a lot of y'all know, Sheriff Larry Letha, Kerr County. One thing I want to tell you, I appreciate y'all covering this. One thing I'm really big about is transparency. Really appreciate y'all getting the message out there. We will do our best. Like you said, we'll have 2 more briefings out there to get you information as we get it. What I want to start with, I want to make sure you understand. These numbers I'm going to give you are at 8:55 a.m. this morning. These are changing rapidly, okay? So next time we meet, I'll update you, but just bear with us, okay? They will be changing. They're already changing them up here, and we'll try to do a really good job. I've got some notes here I'm going to read because I want to be pretty accurate on this. Then I'll talk a little bit before I turn it over to Chip Roy. We are now more than 24 hours into this tragic event, and Kerrville Police Department, Kerrville Fire Department, and Kerr County Sheriff's Office, and other first responders from around the Texas are continuing to conduct rescue and recovery operations along the Guadalupe River corridor. So far, we've evacuated over 850 uninjured people, 8 injured people, and have recovered 27 deceased fatalities at this time.
Oh, man.
Of these 27, 18 are adults, 9 are children. Of that, 6 of the adults are unidentified, and 1 of the children are unidentified at this time. That's at 8:55 this morning. We're unable to release any further information on deceased at this time as our thoughts and prayers go out to the loved ones. We are working hard to locate anyone who is still missing and to ensure they are safe. There are two ways that you can report the missing people. This is something I would really like y'all to spend some time getting out. One of the ways is via phone. We have a call center set up to accept information and share that information along our relief and incident commanders. That number is 830-285-1111. I'll repeat, 830-285-1111.
It's 258.
Correction, 258. Sorry about that. I'm going to repeat it one more time. 258. Number for the final time is 830-258-1111. Is everybody good? Okay. Second way is via email. Like the phone number, information received will be shared along our relief teams. That email is floodrecovery@co.tx.us. Repeating one more time, floodrecovery@co.kerr.tx.us. There is a shelter for the general public who needs assistance at the First United Methodist Church, 321 Thompson Drive in Kerrville. 321 Thompson Drive, Kerrville. At present, we don't need material or volunteer donations at this time. We are coordinating with a strong state response currently. Cash donations can be made to the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country. Once again, donations can be made to the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country. Our first responders have been working tirelessly and will continue to conduct search and rescue operations until all citizens are accounted for. Tragic incidents like this affect us all. This community is strong and will continue to pull together during this tragic time. We have been humbled by the outpouring of support. We are very appreciative of everyone that's stepped up to help us. One thing I want to tell you and assure y'all is that we will not stop till every single person is found. We've got all the resources stepped up to help us. One thing I want to tell you and assure y'all is that we will not stop till every single person is found. We've got all the resources we need. We're here for the long haul. As I said, numbers will be changing rapidly, but like I said, we will not stop till everybody. I can't tell you, I've been asked how long will this take? I can't tell you how long it's going to take. It's going to take a while. Appreciate y'all. Like I said, getting the word out. Like I said, after this we're going to take about 5 questions. At this time, I'm going to introduce you to United States Representative Chip Roy. He's going to say a few words.
Thank you, Sheriff. I'll be brief. I'm here to show support for the community. My family comes here to Kerrville for 4th of July virtually every year. Come here for Robert Earl shows, and we were planning to be here for the show with Robert Earl and Beckman. But these are the events that we're dealing with today, and trying to explain to a world that's watching this and asking questions what a flash flood looks like, where you have a 26 to 30 foot rise in the water in a matter of an hour, 4 to 6 a.m. on a holiday, and the people that are having to respond to that. I just got everybody like pause, take a breath for the recriminations and the Monday morning quarterbacking. Because there's so many great people in this community that are responding and moving quickly. Lives lost, saving people, like camp directors. And I'm going to let other people name names and stuff. That's not my job here. But we know the stories of people that have been heroic in trying to make sure that the lives lost was at a minimum and trying to recover individuals. I got a call and an update this morning. My kid's school, there was one of their schoolmates was missing, and was one of the kids. She was on a mattress for 2-3 hours in the middle of the night. She's united with her mom, and that's wonderful. And those are the kind of blessings that we should be celebrating, while we're also mourning the loss of life as we identify those that didn't make it and are now home with their Lord. So I just want to appreciate the first responders, the coordinated effort from the state, local, federal partnerships. Yesterday I was on the phone with the president, with the secretary. I expect we'll have, some additional visitors today. I'll let other people talk about that, but I couldn't even get the conversation out with the secretary, trying to explain to her what we were dealing with. That doesn't happen often for me, but it took me a while to collect myself to even be able to tell her what we were looking at. And they've been fantastic, made available immediately at the request. I talked to NIM about the need for, help the Army Corps. Talked to the Secretary and their team and their immediate. It's been an extraordinary partnership. I think there's been 1,000 or so boots on the ground combined between state, local, and federal. I'll let them say the numbers, but obviously hundreds of people that have been rescued, 160 plus air rescues. I think that number's going up. Airlifting and taking in resources to some of these camps that are isolated. So let's focus on that. Let's focus on finding those who can be found. And then we can always assess what we need to do later going forward. But extremely proud of this community. Let's finish the job here over the next few days. Support the local law enforcement and the first responders, and pray for the families, particularly those who have lost loved ones. With that, I will turn it over to the mayor.
Mayor's very emotional.
I'm Mayor Joe Herring Jr., Mayor of Kerrville, Texas. I'm glad you're here, and I have a few comments to make. People need to know today will be a hard day. It will be a hard day. This is the message I want to share. The city of Kerrville is thankful. We have help from our city crews, from county personnel, from state agencies, and federal resources, including the Coast Guard. I have been asked how people can help. The sheriff has mentioned that a fund has been set up by the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country. Information about this can be found on the city's Facebook page. In fact, if you want to know how to help, I know from my phone, from my texts, from my emails, thousands of people across our state and the world want to know how they can help. The easiest way to get information about that is to follow the City of Kerrville Facebook page. City of Kerrville, City Hall Facebook page. They have done an admirable job of making sure all resources and all information is available, not only to the citizens of Kerrville, but to the citizens of the world. I'm thankful you're here. Today will be a hard day. Please pray for our community. Thank you. Next up is City Manager Dalton Rice.
Thank you, Mayor. Dalton Rice, the City Manager for the City of Kerrville. Just wanted to give a couple updates. Find heat sources or whatever. So operations did continue throughout the night. Obviously the water did recede into this morning. I do want to encourage folks with road damage, even though a road may be open, please use extreme caution. If water does get under the road, we are seeing a lot of debris, a lot of asphalt that is washing up, so there could be some other damaged areas. We did start boots on the ground operations about 8 a.m. this morning. And started about southwest of Hunt, so southwest of Camp Mystic. These folks will be traveling very difficult terrain up through Ingram, and we're going to start getting information. So again, as the sheriff had alluded to, the information is changing constantly, and it's going to be changing by the minute. Talked about roads. Don't do your own searches. We know everybody wants to get help. As the roads start clearing up, you're gonna want to get out there. We are in constant communication with families. We're in constant communication with those around, and so we will continue to effortlessly work through working with our partners. Again, we've been working with Border Patrol, Texas DPS, game wardens, federal side. U.S. Coast Guard is here. We want to thank them. Air assets. Again, we have hundreds of state and federal and local resources out here supporting this community. We do have grief counselors out there. Hesitate to
Yeah, their feed comes in and out. It's not us, folks.
Good news is a lot of the shelters have gone down in numbers. So there's either been, those that have been reunited or kind of, moving on. A couple of locations, we had 18, girls in there that have been reunited with their families. We're down to about 4 that we're working on reunification as well. So reunification efforts are continuously ongoing from the missing person side. Here over the next few hours, we're going to be putting more information out there as far as missing persons, on how to contact if you have somebody that is missing or a loved one. Y'all have the camp number right now. We are continuously working on the other missing person side. The best way that I could sum this up is we have the known, which is the 27 potential missing campers that we're looking for now. The unknown is how many people were here locally, visiting, on vacation, doing other things in the community that we just do not have numbers. So these numbers are going to change throughout the day. And with that, we will take 5 questions.
On the missing individuals, the 27, are those all, you said campers, are those all children? And then also, we know the total number of missing that you know of, not the unknowns, obviously, but the knowns of adults and children for the county.
So the 27 missing is the children from Camp Mystic that we have as far as right now for the number. As far as unknown other missing, we do not have an accurate count, and we don't even want to begin to estimate at this time.
Can you expand on that?
Holy smokes.
People in the community, business owners, people that are living along the river have said they are very concerned the number will go up of missing. And they want to know more about how you guys are looking for them, what the efforts are, maybe even some of the challenges. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I alluded to with the operations piece, we have basically a team of about 34 folks from Texas Task Force 1, DPS, game wardens, and Border Patrol that are boots on the ground on each side of the river, starting in Hunt, and they're starting to make their this entire area is probably about a 7 terrain contours along the riverbanks. So it is a very harsh environment. We are doing what's called a primary search, which is basically a very quick search. But when I say quick, that is up, down, sideways. They're turning over as many rocks as they can, culverts up in trees. They are looking at every possible location, and then we'll start going into a layered approach, or what we also have from the locals, which has been a really great resource. In the floods that we have, there are known collection points where debris tends to collect along the riverbank. We do have intel on what sites and locations those are, so we can also put additional resources into those collection sites and start getting a more focused approach on that.
We've seen a lot of tragic flooding. We've seen a lot of tragic flooding in central Texas over the past few weeks. There are so many people, I know this is so early, but there are so many people already asking, what can be done to stop the loss of life? We saw 13 in San Antonio. We have seen an unknown number, but at least 27 here. They're scared.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think that's a question that we definitely need to answer at some point in time. Right now, our focus is on the search and rescue efforts, making sure that we get these families out, get some closure, where we can. And so I think that is a great question that we need to ask ourselves. But right now, we want to focus on search and rescue operations. Yes, we are. We have been in continuous search and rescue operations. Again, this river, even though it started in West Kerr, this goes all the way down through East Kerr County and it's continuing on, to the southeast. So yes, search and rescue operations are continuously ongoing, and we'll continue to update on that. One more question. Typically rescues, if we do find them, they're going to be in trees or we find them, either on high ground. Again, most of the rescues that we are having at this point in time are other camps. So we have a lot of camps and they are all accounted for, but they are isolated because of road damage. So we know where they're at. We're getting them food, water, resources, and now it's a matter of just getting them safely across, low water crossings or other areas to other shelters. So.
Pictures and your names and all this stuff. Are you going to give a list of the names of the kids?
Absolutely not. We are not going to give a list of the names. We want to protect, those families and their information. The other thing I want to point out, and thank you for bringing that up, these families are getting bombarded with spam calls and spam information. So we want to keep the kids' information and these families' names out of any public light, to give them the opportunity to grieve and to make sure that we give them them the best possible resources that we can and get them reconnected as soon as possible. So some of them are, and some of those have been a great help as well. So yes, it is a double-edged sword, but we need to work through it. So our next one will be at 2 o'clock, and we'll give updates then. Thank you.
All right. Very, numbers went up a little bit. Camp Mystic, 27 children missing from just Camp Mystic. They don't really know the extent of how many people are really missing. Very rural area of West Texas. Wow. Wow. We'll put the other feed back on. Unbelievable, folks. The President of the United States put out a tweet or message. I don't know if this is truth or this is Twitter. The Trump administration is working with state and local officials on the ground in Texas in response to the tragic flooding that took place yesterday. Our Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, will be there shortly. Melania and I are praying for all of the families impacted by this horrible tragedy. Our brave first responders are on site doing what they do best. God bless the families and God bless Texas. All right. So gives us an understanding here. Very, very scary because Camp Mystic, they're also saying that they're, some of these other camps are isolated and they're bringing food and whatnot. Roads can't get there. But Camp Mystic alone, 27 missing children. And that's just Camp Mystic. They don't know how many people are missing because this is a community where people go camping. It's a camping community all along the Guadalupe River. So they don't know how many RVs are in there or how many people from out of town came in there. They're just talking about Camp Mystic, which is scary. So, and he also said, didn't he raise the death toll up to 27 too, right? 27. As you see there, 18 adults, 9 children, 6 adults unidentified. 1 child unidentified, 850 uninjured, evacuated, as well as 8 injured. So massive disaster here with numerous people still missing. We don't know the extent. Now, they said they were going to give an update, a couple more updates later on this afternoon and evening. This is the scene outside of Hunt, Texas. So we're talking about Hunt, Texas. It's just a terrible situation. And we'll continue to monitor here and see what's going on as heavy rain still in that area. Forecast for more rain, not like on this level. Where's all that water going to go if it starts pouring down rain again? A lot of all that water has went towards between Austin and San Antonio.
So,
There we go. What's your first name? Kurt.
Yeah. The assistant.
Gotcha. All right.
Assistant Fire Chief. Up.
Okay.
And then
I'm sorry, man.
don't fall in the hole.
Not in the mud. Not in the
Stand
mud.
by.
Okay.
Here you go.
Yeah, hold on.
Kurt or Kurt?
Kurt.
Kurt.
Now, I look at on the radar, a massive amount of water is falling I-10
That's all I need is.
Thank you.
by
All right.
the community of Segun, Sesegiun.
Assistant Fire Chief?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. How long you been here?
27 years.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I've been part of the community a lot longer off and on, but full-time 27 years.
All right, we are live in Hunt. I believe they're still in Hunt.
They're going to come to us in a few seconds.
I think the signal is like on a little tiny delay. because of the remote location. Just like we saw at the press conference, it was grainy. Or it's not in sync a little bit with the lips, just a little tiny bit.
Hey, Matt, so we got some action going on here in Hunt. So I do have Kurt. He's the assistant fire chief, been here for 27 years. Tell me about this.
This is, monumental. I feel very much like we're looking at the video from last summer in the hurricanes in Carolinas. Community is pretty hard hit. Everybody's good. Lost a lot of stuff. Lost some lives. The Hunt Department we're trying to make sure our community's okay. The state's kind of left us out and let's take care of everybody around here. And of course, the state is coordinating all the recovery efforts.
Now, what are we seeing here? Are we seeing some bobcats out here kind of pulling the debris?
We have a whole lot of folks that have volunteered equipment. We've cleared out the North Fork of the river with volunteer equipment. We're working our way up here. Been working with K-Pub and TxDOT on just what to do with the debris, how to get it out of the way, how to get the roads back open so that 2 lanes are passable. That's really what our biggest effort is right now. We've got the 2 local churches set up for food and food donations and that kind of stuff. We're letting them take care of that, and we're just trying to make the best of what we got.
Awesome. Well, thank you for talking to us, and also thank you for the work that's being done here today.
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah. All right, we're going to send it back to you in the station.
All right, so that reporter's been out there. This is Kerrville. Oh, look at that. State police rolling in. Yeah, we are praying for Texas for sure. So it looks like this is a huge response. Plus, they're cleaning up the roads. They're cleaning up the debris. So now it's 27 dead. And they don't really know how many overall are missing. They just don't know. And these numbers, they said, expect to shift. Hopefully, some people are found safe. We get more information. So let me keep the conversation going. Texas. To see any new information that has been popped up while we've been on. 27 dead. Again, the water rose 26 feet in 25 minutes or 45 minutes. Forecast also with 5 inches additional rain in that area forecasted. There was a woman that there's talking about, a League City woman that was found clinging on a tree hours after this flooding started occurring yesterday morning, a little bit before. Well, it started between 2 a.m. and 4:30 was really when it hit hard. When we came on live in the morning yesterday, the Guadalupe and Kerrville pretty much crested at that point, but you could just see how massive it was as it was beginning to crest towards Comfort to the east. So we're going to just sit here and see what's going on. AP reports Texas parents frantically posted photos of their young daughters on social media with any information about their missing loved ones. The way I heard it, it's still a search.
You want to stack it in there and make it last over at the station at the firehouse. So
that ice machine there, if we could find power somewhere, it's got about 250 bags of ice. We could plug it in.
let me see if I can chase the generator down. How big?
Oh, not much. It's running. It's 1%.
Okay.
We're running it down with the generator. Okay. We're from Hondo. We brought them.
Your whole police department was here last night.
I
You
know.
could have.
I seen 6 of them go back and we were on the way up there.
They came past me up and there's some water crossing up here. I said, who's left in Hondo?
Not many.
And the guys they were like, there ain't much left.
No, usually they're on every street corner and everything kind of does
Subin, thank you. Thank you, hippie. Thank you.
Yeah. So the 2 Baptist
Subin.
churches, and then
like I say, we're at that church right there, but
that's great.
No power.
I know it.
We unloaded all the water. We brought there, but.
So it looks like in that area on I-10, just east of San Antonio, is receiving massive amount of rain. Lockhart, just east of San Marcos, lots of rain right now.
Stop up there and give me a shout.
Okay.
Bring it up to the firehouse. I've got a big cooler or a big freezer, no power, but at least it's insulated. We can throw it. Nice to meet you. Appreciate it.
All right. Hey, you need some ice, brother? Good. Okay. Hey, I'm gonna call Texas first, see if they can donate.
Yeah. I mean, whatever we can get.
Pay for it.
We're not going to.
Are you fire chief?
Assistant. Yeah, I really couldn't be thinking about that at this point. All right. All right, good.
Oh, look at all this equipment. Look at all the trucks coming in.
Once it starts getting flat, there's no place for it to go.
Looks like she's coming back on with another report. Hey, B-Rad, thank you. Thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you. I really appreciate that. 5 new members of JLR Investigates, courtesy of B-Rad. Thank you. Very grateful.
Thanks, Kerr. I really appreciate it.
No.
So we are also.
I don't know. They muted it now at this point. This is a live scene in Hunt. So the president of the United States put out a tweet. You got authorities giving an update. Death toll rose 27. Still numerous missing children. Camp Mystic. Praying for each and every one of those families. Island Thrifts.
Okay.
Praying for Texas for sure. Island Thrifts.
Did you get a chance to look closer into the Hunt store?
It's gone. There used to be a little white building on the other side that was.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Nice slab there.
And I tried to pick up the brick. Brick is heavy.
Oh yeah.
Just goes to show the.
I've seen water in places that it's crazy. It's
Yes.
I tell you what, everybody. The funniest thing, everybody that I've talked to is, where are we going to get all the things going on? Where are we going to get our mail?
That is a question.
I shouldn't be laughing, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You really want to get your bills.
All band. Thank you. Thank you, all band.
Maybe
For the
they'll give
gift
you
of
a
membership.
break.
Thank
It
you.
wasn't. It was. Oh gosh, what somebody told me yesterday. I can't even remember. It's just been,
Yeah.
so nuts that we're just
shocked.
Yeah.
All right, so she might be giving another update or talking and whatnot, trying to understand a little bit more about where they're doing their searches along the
You're
Guadalupe.
gonna toss to us in a few minutes, a few seconds. You're used to this. You're a pro.
I've given more interviews in my life over the years. That stuff is crazy. You can head up there. Let me. Yeah.
We're going next. Yeah. Sorry. I don't know.
It's running. Yeah.
Thank you. I won't keep you long.
Make it just a bit. He's heading up to the church. Okay. Yeah. We'll figure that out later.
Again, Kurt.
Channel 4. Channel 4.
Thank you again for standing here and talking to us. Appreciate it. I know you're busy.
No, like I said, it's just kind of coordination stuff. It's nothing.
How do you pronounce your last name again?
Griffin.
Griffin. Easy.
Yeah.
It's like Smith.
Griffin, as in Peter Griffin. IN with an IN. Everybody for some reason says
Ian.
I'm like, I've never seen it. I've never met anybody with it spelled that way, and nobody always. That's one of those things everybody always asks. If I'm being a real smart aleck, they say, "What's your first name?" Like the Scottish Church. Scottish Church are Kirks. So, and that just really throws them off.
Kurt.
Yeah.
Kirk.
My parents wanted a name that couldn't be changed. My dad's real name is Gerald, and he goes by Jerry. So.
It was Kirk, right?
Yes.
Welcome back. So it is getting much hotter out here today, but it's no more rain we're having here. It was misty, but it is getting pretty muggy here. I am joined with Kirk. He is the assistant fire chief here. You've been here for 27 years. So tell me a little bit about, we got a lot of action going on, a lot of first responders. They're all volunteers out here working. Most of them are volunteers, right?
Most everybody you see is volunteers. We've got a super community that's supporting us with a lot of equipment, trying to get. Biggest project right now we got working on is getting the highway open to 2 lanes both ways, just getting the debris off and so that everybody can get in and out. We've got a couple river crossings upriver that are closed that are impassable, and they'll stay impassable for a while. We're able to get to every place in our district and in the area that's been affected. We're getting there. A lot of volunteers. We're taking care of the local stuff. The state operation is taking care of the recoveries, as you guys have probably heard. We appreciate their help, and they're letting us take care of what problems that we're experiencing.
I A lot of problems. I mean, the Hunt store here was a staple in the area, and also your post office. A lot of people are wondering what happens with your mail now.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. Yesterday's conversation when everybody heard that the store was closed and the post office is gone. You know, how are you going to get your mail and where are you going to go to eat lunch? So the Hunt store is probably a total loss, and we'll make it back.
But this is going to take some time. There's a lot of efforts going in. You see behind us, there's a lot of action going on, a lot of moving the debris out of the way.
Yeah, that's our biggest thing at this point is trying to get everything passable. We've got vehicles and trees and that kind of stuff. And fortunately, we'll just keep working it.
Now, if there are people here in the community that need some help or
Thank you
want
more
help,
here.
how can they go
Thank
about it
you.
and where can they go?
Yes, ma'am. Any food donations to either one of our two churches in the community here. We've got a Baptist church and the Methodist church. First responders are based out of Ingram, just a little bit further back. And so that's where that operation's going. But if you guys make it to Hunt, you know, and you got something food-wise, the churches are where we're trying to put it.
Absolutely. And is there a message that you'd like to send out to your community members?
Everybody's safe, so stay that way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you. I also do want to mention, I did speak to the owner's wife here at the Hunt store. They said that they're going to post some updates on their website, which is thehuntstore.com, and they'll post some things on there because they said there are a lot of people who are looking to get in and help. They want to do new donations and things like that. So they said, pay attention to that, and they'll continue to update the website. Jordan, back to you.
All right, so they're saying more rain is in the I-35 corridor area. Massive amount of
Still
rain.
here, yes.
3 to 5 inches per hour.
Yes.
New Braunfels and San Marcos area, Lockhart. Massive amount of rain right now that is falling. I'm looking at the radar. It's pretty intense.
Are you able to tell us a little bit about Camp Mystic, since it's in the area, and how difficult it may be to get into that area?
The road is clear to there. The bridge that is right before Camp Mystic took a big hit. The road base, and it peeled the asphalt right off the top of the road. So we're dealing with gravel and a lot of debris that we're trying to get smoothed out to get in and out there. We helicoptered a bunch of people in and out yesterday. That was very successful with Army Blackhawks and the DPS helicopters and one sheriff helicopter. So it's accessible. We did get ambulances in there yesterday. It's just there's no road left, and of course it's not smooth after getting washed out. So they're trying to get that repaired enough to get vehicle traffic in and out with ease. And so that's the latest I know from up there, access wise.
Yeah, just overall, just very devastating to hear.
Yes, you know, you get, it's amazing when you got one road in and one road out. You tear up a piece of it, it puts a kink in the operation. So
A lot of first responders up in that area, just getting to that location.
Getting to that area, yes, ma'am. We had fortunately had game wardens, a lot of police support in and out of the whole San Antonio area. We had police support out of Hondo and areas south of us that came in yesterday. Greatly appreciated. Made sure everything worked real smooth.
So it's all just a matter of time and just resources in getting there.
Resources down a 2-lane road that's 1 lane right now. So that's our biggest issue. So that's why the skid steers, that part of the effort is our biggest task this morning.
Thank you so much, Kurt, for that information. Yeah, so again, a lot of resources with that. Getting into that location is just really difficult, is what we're hearing.
So I'm monitoring also the rain that continues to fall northeast of San Antonio.
Okay. Do you want the...
But overall here, it looks like this, it's drying out. As you see people coming in on the top right corner of your screen, you see all the massive amount of trucks. 27 girls are still missing from Camp Mystic.
KABB. 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 Kirk. Can I borrow you one more time? Take your time right there. Yeah, you're good. Take your time. I'll call you over. I'm dialed in. I don't hear anything. Hello, can you guys hear me? Mic check. Thank you again.
All right. Well, it seems like this reporter here is doing a lot of standing around trying to see what else is existing, but we're monitoring the different floods in the area.
So that road to get down there.
She keeps coming. I guess they're going to try to get down to the road to see. But yeah, it's just terrible, terrible.
So that's been our biggest problem is just we had to wait for the river to come down. Fortunately, in our part of the world, we're not like what we saw in North Carolina and that kind of stuff. The river here drops very quickly. Down where you were talking in Seguin, once that river gets up, it doesn't go down. Like we were saying, it's just flat. And so fortunately for us, it comes up and it goes.
To see some isolated flooding at times. This is how much rain has already fallen just within the last 24 hours for areas of just to the east of Seguin near Kingsbury, just between I-10, what looks like to be 130 to Belmont. Take a query just in the middle of it. 8 inches of rain just within the last 12 hours. In areas of Kingsbury, I'll do right in that little red, even if still 5 inches or 5 inches already. Seguin already tracking just to the south about 3 inches, but we're knowing we've seen already some isolated street flooding inside city limits as well. And that was just the latest radar scan for the heavier rain starting to enter in that rainfall total, starting to really enter areas of Seguin. And that's what has the potential to make its way into areas of Bexar County. So far within the last 12 hours, just near Converse, they've already gotten about 1.5 inches, just near Windcrest, about just over 1 inch, just along I-10 and about 1604, just between 1 inch or less. But we're still tracking that heavier rain near Friendly Corner already, just where you see that little bit of that orange color, 3.5 inches of rain. This is what the potential is throughout the next few hours for that rain to really start to spread to the west and really start to just move south. We're already starting to see some light chances and some light rain already in areas of China Grove, near Sutherland, Floresville as well. We're starting to see some rain. But that's just the south side. We're still tracking heavy rainfall just to the north near Smithson Valley, near Spring Branch, Canyon Lake. Once again, take a look where you see those purple colors. That's that heavy, intense torrential rain.
We'll take a look at the rainfall rates just within this system, just so you know. And we just want everyone to get an idea of how heavy this rainfall is and what to be prepared for, and just to be advised that we are expecting the potential for flooding in areas near, let's do Bear Creek Estates, all the way up to Bordeaux at Vintage Oaks for the Little Query. Let's do about 7 inches of rain per hour. Smithson Valley up to about 6 for the rainfall rates for the potential of just what the system alone is able to produce. Just closer to about Highway 46, still about 6 inches per hour. Now, New Braunfels and Greene, that are still getting some heavy rainfall. However, it's right next to the radar. So although you see that little dome of it and might not think it's raining currently at your house in New Braunfels, that's just where the radar is. So you still have the potential to see some rain as well. Now, this is mostly just to the, basically, if you take 281 and go eastward, that's where we're tracking the heavy rainfall, flash flood warnings all the way from Bexar County up to Comal County, Guadalupe, and it's going to continue over the next few hours as this system continues to just move to the south and kind of stay stagnant in some areas. Now, we've been watching the potential for the rain to continue. That will continue, but take a look to the hill country. They are continuing to get.
All right, so the rain went more towards the east. Here, as you see, flash flood warning. Stay safe out there, folks. I don't think this is over, and I think there could be other communities affected here, but we will continue to monitor what's going on. The other reporter there is seems like she's just doing a lot of standing around. Well, we appreciate all the reports that are coming because it gives us and helps us provide insight of what's happening here. But I think what we'll do is we're going to sign off for now, and then later on come back on or do subsequent reports with the press conferences and new information. And then if anything really breaks where they're like at a scene or something, we will definitely come back and break into this story. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone in Texas for sure. 27 dead, numerous missing little girls from Camp Mystic on top of numerous other people that are potentially missing. What a disaster. So let us know what you think. We appreciate everyone in the chat, everyone that contribute the memberships, all the subs and members. Consider hitting that like, notification button, sub button, as we'll continue to give you up-to-date information on this, new reports that are coming out. The power of Mother Nature for sure. So can't imagine what these parents are going through right now. Stay optimistic. Stay strong. All right, folks, we cover true crime, weather, breaking news, 24/7, 365 on JLR Investigates. We'll talk soon. Be safe out there, my friends. Have a good day.